Good day. Good day. Good day. Good day.
Hi there.
Good day. Good day. Good day.
Okay, we should be live. As I squeak the microphone incessantly. It's just what it's going to be. We did start a paladin over with. I needed a palate cleanser after Expedition 33. That's why we are playing this. I don't think there's too much that we're worried about as far as gear goes. I could swap in some lower level gear. We should be fine. This is going to be the stuff that we were wearing on Tal, so I'm just going to be starting this run over from scratch because that makes sense to me. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and toss this and this in there to be sorted, and we should be good to go. And hey, Adam, how's it going? We're doing Reimagined as a break from the trauma. That was Expedition 33. Loved that game.
Good day.
It's gonna be after this, we will go back to doing proper RPGs, but that one was a beast. I think we are on players 8. Yes. Okay. So that's going to get us more XP starting out, get us a little bit stronger. I am using the basic version of the Lesser Might Charm. We do have the higher level version as well. So I will be messing with those a little bit on this just to make life easier. It's not going to be that bad. We just need to get some levels early. But how are you doing today, Adam? Again, we actually have Smite as a starter. I keep forgetting that. We get it from, I think, the sword? And it still does have AoE. Okay. He just got off work. Awesome. Hopefully work wasn't too rough today. Oh, and we already got a rare buckler. It's only going to be, like, complete garbage, but... refilling shrine we don't really need just yet. I'll worry about it later. Let's go ahead and identify that shield, see if we get something a little bit better than absolute garbage. It's better than absolute garbage. And yeah, this is where we're getting the smite from. I'm not too concerned about using that, but hey, it's there, so. What did all these porcupines do to me? They existed. That and they attacked me. If they were truly passive, I would leave them alone. How's it going, Fuchsia? It's going to take me some getting used to get back into the Diablo mindset, though. My brain is still, like, in parry mode for some reason. Maybe I should have done Dark Souls instead. Of course, I can't say I've actually beaten Dark Souls. I have gotten through most of it. I haven't done all the side content. So, there's definitely things that I have not beaten in Dark Souls. We did beat everything in Expedition 33, though, and I'm glad that we did. That's one thing I wish more stories did, is it actually had proper lore in the side stuff. That's something that a lot of games don't actually do very well. Smack, 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 smack. That is going to be us starting out, unfortunately. It is the story of the Diablo life. You either smack, 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 or cast, cast, cast. And we are doing Paladin. I was trying to decide how to mispronounce it, and I mispronounced my mispronunciation. But yeah, the Paladin very much starts out with whack, whack, whack. Because I think it's... Yeah, we could do Holy Bolt relatively early. But I think I want to try out melee. Yeah, Holy Bolt's level 6. That's not too bad. We're already level 3, so I'm going to get strength. Nope. But hopefully everyone is doing fine today. It's going to be a relaxed stream today for those of you that are curious. I'm still in recovery mode. Paladin only had money for one martial arts lesson, so the only attack he knows is an overhead bash. Exactly. I would be interested to see someone essentially take Diablo 2 and turn it into a Souls-like. Change it to third-person perspective and all that. You wouldn't obviously be able to do it to licensing, but you could reasonably make it close enough, like as far as the game flow and stuff like that, to make a Souls-like in this model. Of the item gathering, the skill system, stuff like that. Most of the skills would work in first person. There's a couple that might not. Assassin would probably be pretty hard to do it in first person. In Dark Souls third person, which is over the shoulder third person. But I think overall, like, the item systems would be perfectly fine. Most of the spells would be fine, especially if you had lock on. That would allow you to introduce more animations. Fun fact about the animations for Diablo 2, though. They are off of 3D models, but they are reduced to sprites. That's why they are so fixed in their animation styles. They could have fixed that with the remastered version, but then they would have had to make sure, like, the frames matched and all that fun jazz. Which, not as easy as you would think. Especially whenever you're starting to deal with people who know about action frames. And because there are two types of frames in Diablo 2. For those of you, like, frame numbers that matter. There is the actual, like, full action, like the amount of frames the full action takes, beginning to end. That affects how many times you can attack per second. There's also things called action frames, where the actual event of the action occurs. So you can cast a spell, it may have a 14 frame cast rate. So every 14 frames you can cast it again and again and again, but it happens on the 7th frame of the cast. So if you get interrupted after the 7th frame, it doesn't matter. In fact, it speeds up your casting. So there are things like that that occur. I think we'll go Might. We do need to work our way down to Zeal, so Might, Smite, and Sacrifice. Could also do... Actually, we do need that for the Holy Fire one. We're going to do a Holy Fire early, and then we'll switch into something else. So, we need to grab that, and move down. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get the fan on me so I'm not cooking alive. Because it is going to be warm here for the next about probably at least a week, if not longer. It's going to be warm for the rest of summer. That's just a no duh, but going to be particularly warm for the next week. Because average temperature right now is usually hot, but it's above average. And then you have the average temperature later, which is hot as Satan's balls, which is where it's at right now. Yeah, anything over about normal body temperature is uncomfortable. Especially with the humidity we have here. Yeah, if you don't have high humidity, higher temperatures are actually not that bad because sweat evaporation goes on pretty easy whenever there's not high humidity. But when it's trapped against your skin, boy, howdy does it suck. Okay, let's go get ourselves the waypoint first. I've just been going around trying to get levels so we can get to level 6 fairly quick and start getting some of our gear equipped. Let's go superior boots rather than cracked boots. Sorry, crude boots. But yeah, I don't mind the quill rats. They're pretty chill. And yes, I will be trying to release schedules for each week. The main things that are going to be kind of hit or miss are going to be the streaming schedule should be pretty spot on. I try to stream every day at the same time. Well, not every day. I don't stream Mondays. But I will try to stream at the same time. Game might change if we get a cancellation or if something comes out. That's the main thing that'll change there. Reviews, I'm usually working on them up until the day I release them. So if I release that I'm going to be releasing a review, that means that chances are I'll have it made the night before that's due on the schedule. So if I miss it, it'll be a day or two later. The Let's Plays, they vary. There's some I have recorded further out and just can't show due to embargoes. Yay. I have been thinking about making it so that they're available to channel members on the Let's Play thing as soon as I get them done, as long as there's not an embargo. And then making it go public on the scheduled day. It's a strategy that I've seen a few other creators use. There's basically about, I want to say, 2 or 3 strategies whenever it comes to channel memberships. The one that I usually adopt, which I adopt on the review channel, is, well, if you're a channel member, thank you for supporting the channel. While on the YouTubes, I've seen other people do things such as every 7th video or every 5th video. I did run across a channel the other day that was complaining about a drop-off in their views. I went to their channel, and every other video was members only. And they're like, of course you're going to get less views. Less people are physically able to watch that. It's like, okay. Yes, you're going to take a hit to views if you do members only stuff, period. That's why I don't think I'm ever going to have things that are going to stay strictly members only. That doesn't, unless it's some kind of behind the scenes shit, it doesn't make sense to me. I want people to view the content. I want people to enjoy the content. I am not some kind of freaking television station. Okay, so I'm gonna sell stuff in a minute. I think that's a good start. And yes, we will get a duplicate of this, so I'll probably have to put this one in before we do the Den of Evil. That's a level 21, which we're looking forward to, because way less of a penalty and higher melee splash damage. Members only videos is actually, it's not a way to prevent copyright strikes, funnily enough. You can have copyright strikes on private videos that no one can watch. Because a lot of the stuff is scanned. I think probably the biggest thing that it would remotely prevent would be maybe some reports on your videos, but even then, they'll still happen. Okay, we have 2 rows of potions. We don't need that. We'll identify you. You are garbage. I'm actually going to start selling some of the garbage jewels. They don't do a lot for us. And do we have... We get that at 7. Okay. 7, 10, and 7. That's good to know. Areve, can you stop talking to me? But yeah, generally speaking, the visibility of a video on YouTube does not impact your ability to get strikes or claims on it. The only exception I can think of is if you are taking things from other YouTubers. As a partnered YouTuber, this is going to be a bit of a behind the scenes stuff. As a partnered YouTuber, you get access to a copyright claim system. It is a dumbed down, extremely simplified, and frankly, not that useful version of the copyright system, but it's there. And simply put, basically, if somebody uses your videos, it will pick up on that if they're public, and actually will have you... Well, let's get past these idiots first. Give you the option of contacting the creator that's using it, or copyright striking them. You don't have the option to put a claim, you just have the option to do a strike, or contact them, or archive it and just completely ignore it. Generally speaking, unless someone is ripping a lot of my content, I will only do strikes. I will do a 7-day warning, take this down, you get a strike, and then if they have like 2 or 3 videos, I will usually space it out so they don't get their channel taken down. As long as it's not something that is acting in overt bad faith, such as ripping an entire series kind of stuff. Then I will just like, okay, here's 7 strikes. I've had that happen a few times. I've had people try to impersonate me, stuff like that. And that is a way we can counteract that. There are some people that tried to impersonate me that I wasn't able to do anything about because they were taking my name and my skin back whenever I did some Minecraft content and using that to get onto servers, which is a real dick move. All their channels they're still around. They're just dead because they didn't get traction off of it, and I guarantee you most of them don't play Minecraft anymore because that was 2013 or something like that. But yeah, you can get anything claimed, is my point. Bonk. And I'm actually, I might not pick up the unique charm. There's no variance in them. So why bother picking it up? Now that I think about it. They don't actually do anything. And I haven't turned on an aura yet, so let's go ahead and... 1. We now have aura. Are we aura farming? I can use Gen Z terms. No. We are literally just nuking everything with a nice little fire aura. This will be broken, in case you're curious. Especially with our splash damage. I do need to be picking these up because we don't actually have our belt filled. But Player's Aid is actually not that bad in normal. Whenever you get into hell difficulty, it can be a bit rough, especially with this mod. Because this mod already dumps a massive amount of life onto enemies, making them extremely fucking spongy, which is one of my big complaints about it. If you want to make something harder, make the enemies more dangerous. Giving them... A good example is Diablo himself in hell difficulty. Giving them a crazy amount of times casting freaking Bone Prison and way more life is not a way to make it more difficult. It just makes it more frustrating to go through. Generally, you want to... And I this is one of the handful of things I actually agree with Pirate Software on. I don't agree with everything on him. There are actually a lot of things I don't agree with on him. But if you're designing an enemy, use that little triangle thing if you're having trouble getting them balanced. You want them to be either durable, you want them to be durable, fast, strong. Those are your 3 points. If they're fast and durable, you don't make them very strong. If you make them strong and fast, you don't make them very durable. Etc., etc., etc. And that is a safe way. There's obviously exceptions to that, and there's ways to work around it. You can make smart enemies. If you want to actually start branching off into more complex development of the enemies that you're making, you can make smart enemies and have that be a factor in it as well. In which case you could have a fast, weak, but very smart and not very durable enemy and still have it be fun. And I'm pretty sure I can't pick that up yet. I don't think I can even put it like this.
I can't.
Yeah, it has to be off my person. Let's grab those. Yeah, we can get those with each and every character we make. It's not like it's going to be hard to get them. I do eventually want to have 1 starter, 1 mid, 1 high kind of situation. As far as what sells good, none of this stuff really does. We do want to build up a little bit of money because we are going to be repairing more often while we're doing melee. That's why I'm kind of... I don't have keys, do I? Nope! Okay, we're going back then. Time to equip more garbage! Beast Song. Is it actually? Yeah, it is absolutely better. Is this better than what we have equipped? 7 all resist versus cold resist. Yeah, it's better. It's too early to have a full inventory of charms. This is stuff from the Necromancer run. These are not all solo self-found. I'm just basically playing it through, like, trying to think of a good way to explain it. But basically, I'm playing it through how a normal player would play through. You build up a character, you complete that character, you get a certain ways in, and then you pass it on to the next interest kind of situation. So it is definitely, this character is built up kind of thing, so. And yes, they're okay charms, but most of them I can't actually use right now. So it's not like they're really doing anything for me other than giving me, like, that one's giving me some stats right now. That one's giving me a little bit of stats. This might be better than that. Because we don't care about the higher vitality. We want higher strength. Yeah, most of these are not active right now. And worth noting, if you have, you see the charm weight thing here? If you have more than 40 charm weight, it resets your mana to 0, which I think might actually be a valid strategy for the Necromancer. Making the Necromancer probably one of the better farmers. Go for a high vitality setup. Yeah, I'm not at the level for them yet. Most of them aren't terrible levels. This one's a little high. But you can see they'll just start growing as we get stuff. This one's probably not worth the level, but we'll eventually probably replace it along the way. That can get... Why is that so cheap? Oh, because it's damaged. Doi. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so we're not doing terrible. And also, I'm going to go stack up my runes. Because we're doing okay on runes. We need to get more Nef. But I would like to get more high runes and stuff. So I might run the Necromancer a little bit. That's just going to get sold later. Okay, stat-wise, we still need strength. I forget how much I want to be going up to. We don't need life right now because, frankly, not a lot is going to be bothering us. But, Holy Fire time it is until we get down to Zeal. We could do Holy Bolt. Holy Bolt has been changed so that just damages all enemies. I'm not sure I 100% agree with that, but it's fine. It's not like it's broken. It might be broken whenever we get to Fist of Heavens. And yes, I am staying hydrated. Okay, so that's Den of Evil done. We're not going to be able to invest a third point into that. So that's going to go into that. So now we have 1131 to our attack and 1 to 10 in the radius. Nice. That's crazy damage for this early. Do we bother with the trio on players 8? Yep, it's a walking stick one that gives the teleport. I have considered using it. But I think it feels almost like a trap rune word, sadly. Or one if you're doing, say, speed running in this. It would be handy for that. But I don't see myself using it very much. Oh, not staff? Oh, I'll have to look that one up then. Does it give plus to teleport, or is it a charges-based one? Charges are still useful. I just don't use them very much because I'm fine with just killing everything in an area. Fine, give me all the gold. Thank you. Level are we 8? Not charges? Then that's a pretty good helmet. And I could see people using it for, like I said, speedrunning. And for stuff like that. Hi, Bishabosh. You do not take extra damage from me, but I still stab you pretty hard. And I do need to be picking up rings. I actually don't have a bunch of options for rings. I could dig through some of the like the miscellaneous items I have. I probably have a couple rings that I could use for them. But they're not going to be until like the 30s anyway. So I'm not probably going to be seeing it today. Come to me, you little boots. Okay, stat-wise. Strength. Orthol Ith, level 23 required. Okay. So it's a 3-socket helm. We can get that on masks. And bone helms in normal. Trying to think what else. But yeah, we could get it on crowns too if I remember correctly. I think crowns can go up to 3 in normal. I know that the high level crowns can. Forget if the low level ones can. I don't play this as much as I used to. It's my brain, it does not stick on these things quite as well. I did not mean to pick up a mana potion there. We'll put that down there to hold the spot. I always forget to do that whenever I reinstall the game. Or whenever I do a mod that resets my settings. This resets your settings, by the way. Most mods generally do. I think it's because of how it runs the mod. Yeah. Come on, you guys, come out here. I want to split you up a little bit. Yeah, they hurt on players 8. I see you over there. Okay, so there's 2 of Raven's friends now. Oh, and we got a light belt. It's Arctic. Which is actually not a bad set, by the way. I think a lot of people dismiss it because, oh, it's a normal set. It's actually halfway decent. Do we not have weight 40? Oh, it's engaged weight 40. Okay, another point into Holy Fire. And 5 more into that. I should probably get some more vitality. I'm not that concerned about it just yet. We'll probably die once or twice to me being a dumbass who's just pushing ahead a bit too hard, but... Yeah. Whenever a lot of these things change it so that the mercenary can equip everything, set items all of a sudden become a lot more interesting. At least to me.
Sisters, there was no other way.
And there goes the Diablo 1 rogue. I should name my... If we do another Diablo 1 run, I should name my rogue Blood Raven. Or if I do a mage, call him the Summoner. I don't know if it'll let me call the Warrior Diablo, though. I think it will in single player. It might not. Now, one thing that I think Diablo 2, I wish they would have done, is actually make it so that all quests give you XP. There's a couple that do. There's things like the Ancients and stuff, but it always felt weird to me that it didn't have that. It's just one of those little, like, minor quirks that I get why they didn't do it, because it makes it so you have to fight the enemies to do it, but RPGs, a lot of the time, will just give you XP for the quests. So 6% cold resist on the jewel. We'll keep it as a trash jewel. We could use it as some low-level stuff as well. And yes, I am hoarding. Okay. So next one that we get stuff at is going to be 10, which is going to be that one. Legacy and Blood comes at 35, but this comes at 31, so that's going to be sooner. So 10. Then we don't have anything until the 20s. That's fine. We could take the boots we have for our mercenary. Yeah, I haven't actually found too many full sets. I found a lot of partial sets on the Necro run. And did we get ice or fire? We got fire. Not the best, but Amp Lisa is a fairly familiar name. Yeah, I'm just having fun with this. Use the Orbs of Assemblance. Ah, yeah, that'll actually get them for you, too. I've only gotten a couple of those. And they gave me sets I was not expecting. I mean, because I used them on items that had multi-base sets. And I don't know what the weighting on the sets are in this. I'd actually have to open up the... Well, I could actually open up the files and look. It's just a table. And this uses the .text format from vanilla. So... Stuff to get Sanders boots, you always get the other set. Yeah, there's even in vanilla Diablo 2, there's a few sets that are actually actively designed. Arotha's is a good example of it. To be kind of the overlap set, if you will. Where their entire point is, hey, guess what? Let me go ahead and smack those guys. I'm going to put these over here like that, so we can just kind of flush out the low-level ones. But yeah, Aroth is an example of it, where it was designed to be kind of distracting from the other set, is probably the best way I could phrase it. Where you'll get an item, and you'll think, oh, this is definitely going to be blah, 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 and then you're surprised, oh, there's a second set in this slot. Rakanishu might wreck my shit on Players 8. No, he didn't. I overestimated your power, Rocky. My shoulders are so fucking sore. If you hear me grunting, it's just from that. I moved a couch yesterday and a few other things, and also did not sleep particularly well. So my old manisms are gonna come out. The sound of age. Like the sound of silence, but a lot more creaky. The sound of silence. I do not age like wine, I age like... I don't even age like cheese. I age like milk. Just the nature of the beast. Wow, that was a lot more potent than I thought it would be. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little bit of vitality just to keep ourselves alive a little bit. Keep on this holy fire. Getting up there, not great, not bad. Go find ourselves a waypoint. It's probably going to be on this side, now that I think about it, because opposite side. I do like that all my elemental damage carries with my sword blow. So the fact that I just need a little bit of ice damage and I can shatter anything in that AoE, not with a super high chance, but enough of a chance, makes me happy. And I do need to look up one thing. I'll probably do that after this stream. I want to see if they made... You know how we have the Tesla Den and the Dragon Den? I want to see if they made enough Holy Freeze equipment that I could do a Holy Freeze Paladin. Shiva, basically. Is that, if we can get probably 3 or 4 layers of it, at least level 30 or 40, could do some stuff. Could even do some stuff on some mercenaries with it now. As long as it's not on a shield. Because if you can put it in a sword, you could do a barbarian Holy Freeze setup. Wouldn't be as powerful as, you know, a proper one that can do synergies, but you can do some fun stuff with it. It's one reason why I actually wish that Act 3 mercenaries had innate masteries as one of their skills. Because then you could go through with some pretty interesting builds that take advantage of that. They don't do melee attacks, but if they had innate masteries, they would be at least on par with the Act 1 mercenary. Because then you could pack auras onto them to work with it, or even plus skills. Okay, so we got the waypoint. We need to go to Dark Woods now. So am I good to go through here? Yeah. On Players 8, we're going to probably run into some issues with the... I forget what they're called. The Lightning Boys. They could be problematic. The Vile Hunters are not going to be problematic unless they're extra fast. Or have fanaticism. And those are not super common yet. And even super fast, extra fast is not going to be that scary. Why are we getting all the L runes all of a sudden? Yeah, these are the ones that I'm worried about. The Misshapen. So yoink, yoink, and yoink. XP Shrine abso-frickin-lutely. And there is a chance that you won't get Misshapen here. Just as a heads up, that it is entirely possible not to get them. Because you can get these... Because there's only a certain number of spawn types that can go into an area. So you'll run into situations where just a specific type of enemy just doesn't spawn. There are some areas like the actual end of River of Flame, where Diablo is, the actual citadel, where there's the same number of enemy possible spawns as there are slots. And then you'll always just run across the same enemies. Things like the actual body of River of Flame are a little bit different, since they'll have, say, a pool of 4 or 5 enemies, but 3 slots kind of situation. So you might not get Blunderboars one run. You might not get the Balrogs on another run. And yes, we are just trying to get as much as we can on this first little bit of a smash through on these guys. We don't even care if we're going the right way. We want to take full advantage of this XP shrine. I want to get up to probably at least... Well, actually, we already are at past 12. But at least level 12 before we start dealing with the three-head woodbutt. Which we've already reached, so I don't have to worry about it that much. Extra levels are nice, though. Still not a red camp. I should probably equip my mercenary at some point. I will in the very near future, most likely. But at the moment, no stopping. We have XP Shrine. And yes, there's a certain number of champions, uniques, and stuff like that that can spawn in areas as well. One way that you speed up your running of, say, for example, ancient tunnels or something like that, is you memorize how many will drop in there, and then once you've killed that many bosses, you just up and just nope out of there. Ooh. Bunch of runes. I should have been doing this on Players 8 with the Necro. Although the Necro doesn't have as strong of early scaling. So there is a disadvantage to doing this with Necro. The Paladin is probably the strongest early scaler in the game if I had to. It's either that or the Assassin. As far as getting really ramped up quickly. The Necromancer is more of a mid to late game character. The Sorceress, early mid, but she can also ramp up. Every class can ramp up to insanity at the end. That's just kind of a given. But I think the Barbarian's probably the weakest late game. You did an aura build on your Merc for a summon Necro. There's a unique helm that gives prayer, you have a chest that gives concentration, a ring that gives might, and an edge bow for thorns. Cool. You can kind of do a similar thing with an Act 2 mercenary. You go a cleansing, I forget what, and this is in vanilla. You can do the cleansing helmet, the prayer on him, the bramble armor, and you can actually do an aura on the spear. I'm just forgetting what it was. I think it's on a pole arm specifically, but still. My brain is a little foggy on it, but yeah, aura builds for mercenaries can be effective. They're not the strongest option out there, without a doubt. It's just, they can be kind of fun. Ooh, a rare sash. Cool. I'll look at some of this stuff as mercenary gear in just a bit. And yeah, right now, I'm just going for XP. I want to get that last level before we duck out there. Because we are going to dump it all into Holy Fire. Yeah, the strongest aura builds are still player characters because you have masteries on the Sorceress, so you can do Tesla Source. You can do Dragon Source, and they get a huge buff. The Paladin also gets a pretty decent buff. So he's, despite being the source of the auras, might play second fiddle to some of the Sorceress builds. Okay, so I think the exit is probably down left. Yeah, that can go on her. It's better than nothing.
I'll put that to good use.
I'm gonna keep saying most of the gear we're giving her is just better than nothing. And this is gonna be, yeah, dead end. Let's see. Oh, yeah. You in the channel did not see this. I just blocked a bot. But that reminds me, I actually need to send someone a DM after this stream to give them assistance on their bot problem. Now, I don't use any of the third-party bots for managing them. There are a few that will just automatically update your block lists and stuff like that as new bots are discovered. I prefer having a bit more control over mine. So I do actually have my own filter set up, so it doesn't accidentally block people who are talking about, you know, how subscribers work on YouTube or stuff like that. Or how subscribers work on Twitch. Because subscriber calls on Twitch, subscribers are followers, and on YouTube, subscribers are not members, members are subscribers. What? Nobody can agree on terms, and if you create a centralized standard, guess what? You end up with just another set of terms. It's one of the unfortunate things. Ouch. We don't have cannot be frozen yet. I say yet because we're probably going to be able to get it. I can probably get that off of a necro. Ooh, a Targe. It's got... ooh, interesting. What is the base Targe bonus? This one doesn't have a base Targe bonus on it, does it? Oh, wait, no, it has a 9% resist all. It's better than what we're using. It just displays weird because it has the 9% all resists. Psychic hammer on a paladin helmet. Okay, and not paladin, barbarian helmet. Oh god, brain no worky today. Couldn't tell it really doesn't work today. I am at about 30% capacity as far as brain goes. I should probably go get some caffeine, but I have to stretch my coffee supply until frickin' Monday. You know? That's still a ways away. And I have enough coffee to make about 2, 3, 4, about 4 more cups. So I need to be conservative with it. I overused it while doing the runs for Expedition 33.
This tree bristles with magic.
I haven't actually invested my points yet, and I keep saying I needed to for this, so let's go ahead. Level 9. And we're going to go for... Let's go ahead and get some block going. We are going to be relying on block, so get ready to see a paladin walk. Yes, paladin walking ominously towards the enemies. Not a bad thing. Die, porcupine. Oh, and speaking of like weird YouTube shit, I read and it's not wrong is the thing that I hate about this, is that the key to success on YouTube. A lot of their posts was absolutely bullshit, but there is one thing that is very true, and people exploited. Simply put, you put something out there that people need or that is advantageous to them. Basically, in my example, that would be making the guides for Diablo 2 or the reviews. Those have function, people search them out, they get the function from it, they move on. That's how you get traction. Well, the post that I hate, that wasn't what I hated about it. The post that I hate is that they flat out said, well, you've got to make things that people need, but you include a little bit of parasocial. And yes, that is how pretty much every channel that blows up, like actually blows up, does it. especially if they want to sustain over any length of time. There are other ways to blow up, but they are basically churned content. But as far as that one goes, yeah, you create something people need, then you make it parasocial, which just made me like want to throw up a little bit in my mouth. I'm sorry for using like so much. I apparently am off of my stage and into my like stage. Like the post. Jeez. But yeah, it's bonkers that is true, but you should feel gross for doing it kind of situation. Parasocial stuff can also get very dangerous very fast. Not just for the creator, but for the people they drag into it. Because I'm sure by now most people have heard of some of the abuses by less than ethical creators whenever it comes to their interactions with their viewer base. You know, like Boogie, and I'm trying to think of some other examples off the top of my head, but there's been allegations of like rug pulls and predatory actions towards minors. It's probably the cleanest way I can say that. And all kinds of stuff like that happen whenever you have an unethical person taking the route I just described. It is dangerous. It is not good, and we should not be condoning it. Always be wary whenever a creator starts treating you like a best friend or saying you're all friends. No. I care about every single one of my viewers that I have interacted with. I'm not going to go out and have a meal with you unless I have, like, collaborated with you or something. Or I know you outside of the comment section. I care about your well-being, but that doesn't mean I can be responsible for it or that I'm going to drag you into my personal life. If that makes sense. You have a lot of experience shrines, good lord. Like, oh, I'm just gonna wait until this experience shrine runs out. I find 2 more. Gonna run out of enemies before we run out of XP shrines. But yeah, always be wary whenever somebody's trying to... It's a manipulation technique. It is essentially the creator equivalent of love bombing, which is not healthy. And yes, I'm a small creator, so most people aren't going to hear this, nor is it going to make a huge dent in things. But always be aware whenever somebody is gushing over you, or giving you a ton of presents, or saying, I'm going to give you, just you, special attention. I'm going to give all of you special attention. No. That is a red flag. They should treat you as an equal human being. In a equal situation. Some of it is transactional on YouTube. You watch stuff, I get ad views. Same on Twitch. But for the most part, I just want my content to be seen and interacted with, and it to be helpful. That's it. If anything else comes from that, it needs to be on equal footing, not supplier and consumer footing. Oh, that can go away. I'm going to get rid of that, even though it's kind of funny. 10 Holy Fire. We are up to pretty decent damage now. And yes, I am just burning this one. We have another out there. I don't need to worry about it. Let's see. Now I have feet. I didn't transfer over any gloves. That's fine, but this pen is royal blue.
Good day.
My demographic will get that joke. Let's see what else we got. Sorry. I might have to go eat some of my coffee. Ugh. I mean, I joke, but I eat coffee beans. Word of the wise if you eat candy-coated coffee beans. Caution. Do not pop them like M&Ms. You will be wired like a coke fiend. But yeah, I might have to go get some kufe. We'll wait until we're at least... Oh, we are an hour in. I'll go get some coffee after I get Kane saved and Griswold dead. Yay, we got Circle 1. It happened to be the last one we clicked on, but... Circle! Yeah, I needed chill, but I didn't need quite city builder chill. I do have a city builder game that I think yeah, the video for it is releasing on Friday. No, it's releasing on Sunday. It's releasing on Sunday. But yeah, that is my I need no brain power chill kind of game style. Because I don't optimize in the city games. I just try to build pretty cities. Who cares if it's efficient? Here, let's go get you a skull cap. Is it any good? No, but you're gonna wear it anyway. I love the music here. I'm going to clear it out so we can have the music while we are doing the BRB screen. Oh, wow. You guys are really surrounding my mercenary. Please stop that. Okay, time for the BRB screen. First things first. Okay, we have that at 3 right now. we are back, and I have coffee. It's not quite in my system yet, but it's there. We should have a coffee versus tea drinkers war. That reminds, there is a skit that actually makes fun of that. It's one of those skits where people are in hell, but instead of it just being like, oh, everything is bad, no, everything is the second best thing. There are some things on the list I disagree with, but one of them was, do you have any coffee? No, we have tea. I particularly like green tea, but if I'm gonna have to choose one, I'm gonna choose coffee, because it mixes with other flavors better. I can do more with it. It's kind of like choosing between a pizza and... I would say pizza and pasta. You can do a lot with both of them. They're both really good, but pizza, there are just more textures and toppings you can do with it. Especially if you are more liberal with your definition of sauce and crust than you can do with pasta. Because frankly, let's go visit Kane real quick, get our rewards. We should get a ring from this. Do you have a ring for me, Akara? Is it a good ring? Better than what... Actually, it's not better than what we're using. It's better than what you're using.
I'll put that to good use.
Do we care about the leg? No. We'll just sell the ring.
When I fled,
Boop. I do need to identify you. Poison resistance jewel? Not bad. Yeah, we won't see a gear improvement until 25, I don't think. Yeah, because we'll be actually using Spirit as a melee weapon, which is dumb, but it's because I don't feel like making other runes. There are better options. It's not bad. It's got lifesteal, it's got okay damage. Got okay speed. We'll probably switch it out for something. I'll have to decide what. We could make a black. The only downside of that is as knockback. Could do a strength, which is am tier. Or I could look up any number of other whatchamacallits. Rune words for weapons. Looking forward to trying it. It's a pretty good mod. I think normal is a little bit on the easier side compared to vanilla. Whereas I would say normal is a bit easier. Nightmare is about the same and still a lot of fun. My favorite difficulty is Nightmare if I had to choose what's most engaging for me. Get the best stuff on Hell still, though. But Hell feels a little spongy. It's not that most of it's hard or anything. It's actually not. It's just, especially the act bosses, just take a while. But I'm enjoying it. About as much as I enjoyed Project Diablo 2 whenever I first tried it, oddly enough. Project Diablo 2 has gone a lot more into being more akin to Pillars of Eternity, almost, in that it's like focused on PvP and endgame kind of situation. Yes, I know Pillars isn't PvP, but into things that I am not particularly interested in. I'm oddly enough not interested in playing on maps. I'd rather play through a game and finish it, enjoy it, and start a new character. There's a reason why I spend hours in character creators thinking, oh, this sounds fun, this sounds fun, this sounds fun, and then I end up playing through those games multiple times with each of the fun ideas, abandoning about half of them halfway through because they turned out not to be as fun as they sounded, then moving on my way. But how's it doing, Gross? And hopefully I pronounced that better than the captions captured it. There's an orb of assemblage. Speaking of the devil. There's more crafting options, yes. I would say this is just Diablo 2 with more, as far as that kind of stuff goes. It's still not like the end-all be-all of crafting systems. But as far as within Diablo 2's mechanics, yeah. It's got improved crafting. That said, I'm trying to think of what my favorite crafting system would look like. I am a huge fan of useful into useful kind of situations. I'm not a huge fan of gamble crafting, which this actually has a decent amount of. There's also some non-gamble crafting. One that we got, this is a good example of it, is the assemblage one. That lets you turn a rare into a set item of the same type. And if there's not a set item, it just gives you a rare. But yeah, I like useful into useful. Like, for example, say I have a really good sword. Can I turn that into a better sword? Then I usually like it. You played D2 since release, so you just approach this mod as you would normally play. Yeah, you can do that. That works. There's upgrade. There's an option to get uniques from rares. Yep. There's corruption. And there is... So we don't have it on us right now. There's also, if we go into here, item upgrades. These are basically not as strong as corruptions and stuff like that, but kind of situation. Where they allow you to fine-tune an item, which I'm good with. I actually like that kind. I'm not a fan of... This one actually does have a system on it, if I remember correctly, where you run the risk of bricking your item. I'm not a fan of those. Are we getting so many assemblage? I don't know. Probably because we're on Players 8 now that I think about it. Yeah, the one in-game is limited. I do hope that they eventually come into this. And yes, this is TBD. I hope they eventually come in and use all of these things and actually sort it out. I don't know if the UI modifications that are available will let them do it. But if they could add a second set of tabs, like have this be item upgrades and have a tab for amulets, tab for rings, tab for blah, 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 blah. The higher tier upgrade uses the orbs and also high runes. Yeah, it's item syncs. Unfortunately, that is part of... I hate to call it necessary design for long-term play, but it kind of is. Because you will eventually overflow on one resource or another. You can't really perfectly balance resources. Whenever you start getting into complex stuff like that, there will always be something that you'll end up with a little too much of, and it'll build up over time. So having item sinks is important. Same for money sinks and things like that. Diablo does a really bad job for money sinks, with gambling and repairs being pretty much it. That's why gold is considered relatively useless. But, yeah. Did we find the waypoint here? I don't remember. I've been just kind of like blindly wandering. Mainly because, you know, sitting chatting is what I do on stream. But yeah, I enjoy this mod. I don't see myself speedrunning it, but I do see myself going through each class. It is absolutely something I am doing between playthroughs for reviews, though. Just in case, this is not going to be something I play every day for the next 6 months kind of situation. It's going to be something that I hop on, do a little bit of fun digging through, and then go like that. Then we go and cover another game, like Expedition 33, or Probably next up, I'm thinking it's either going to be Shadow Hearts from PS2 era, maybe Xenogears. I'm still feeling the RPG itch. Could do Legend of Dragoon. That's a game that I've beaten, but I have almost like no memory of the story of, so I'm going to miss a lot of stuff. But it was fun. There's some tough parts in it, though. And I don't know how good I am at timing, especially whenever it comes to like any kind of latency introduced by like an emulator or something like that. And this, if we go back to the Necromancer playthrough when I explained maps, is actually an example of the funky maps. It's always a left turn. Even if it takes 3 right turns to get to that left turn. Back out of that. I'll do a normal heal. Why did you cast 3 of those in a row? But see, it's still a left turn. It just took 3 right turns to get there. And identifying all of our stuff, even though we have what's-his-face available. That's going to be better for this act.
I'll put that to good use.
Is this going to be good for... No, of course not. Should we use it? We can. I mean, it's not the end of the world. And yes, I have no pickup on because, frankly... Ugh. I'm tired of accidentally picking stuff up. Okay, let's go with a little bit more block and a little bit more of that. Skill-wise, let's go ahead and get a Zeal. Because we can. We do want to up that a little bit. Yeah, mostly right now, just chilling. If this had multiplayer, I'd probably be playing it with viewers. I would have to turn off chat in this, of course. So I don't get my channel banned. But yeah, I'd probably play it with viewers if this had multiplayer. It does not. None of the D2R mods will unless they break TOS. And yes, I'm gonna drop it to players 1 before we go down. That's gonna be where the down is. Blah, 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 blah. Players 1. Minions weaken. That is better for her. Barely.
Put that to good use.
Okay, so we're on players 1 so we can get optimal drops from this. Are respecs through Akara and such? You can get respecs through Akara. You can also buy respec tokens. We actually have 1 in our stash right now. They're not terribly expensive. You could also just do the dash enable respec if you wanted to. But it's not expensive enough to even justify doing that. I can show it whenever we get to town again. Should be available in this difficulty. I know it's available in Nightmare in Hell. But it is a minor gold sink. Oh, one change worth noting, and this just reminded me of that. Uniques and champions are not guaranteed drops. Not even potions. That is actually a complaint I have about this, because it makes unique farming a little bit more of a pain in the ass. As far as killing uniques, not looking for unique items. There's some Arctic. We got absolute junk from that, but that's fine. I needed more Nephrunes anyway. I think we got one.
Earned the right to this abandoned trove.
It's gonna be... I think it's at Akara.
I thought this.
Yeah, you can buy them. They're 90 gold. It's cheap. But yeah, the no fixed drops from uniques and champions is a weird change. And I kind of don't agree with. Let's go and dump our stuff off of in our inventory. I do like the gem system more. I'm only putting 100 in here to avoid bugs, by the way. As you can tell, I use my assemblages. So yeah, we have Orbs of Corruption, Conversion, Assemblage, and Infusion. Infusion turns them to rares, this turns them to sets, this turns them to uniques, and this turns them to corrupted. I don't know. I have not talked to the devs of this mod. I probably should at some point. They want to reach out to me. My Discord is public, and if you're on my Discord server, my inbox can be reached by just a normal message. Don't even have to add me as a friend. Generally, if people just blindly add me as a friend and I don't recognize them, I end up blocking them from DMs. Just because you get, as anyone who's on a lot of servers or owns the servers knows, you get a lot of friend requests from bots, and I just block them. I get them also because I'm on a lot of content creator servers. Education is important. And seeing a bunch of information and data that you can parse through is also important for determining whether people are being idiots or not. Because there's a lot of conspiracy theories about YouTube as well, which is funny as hell to me. You know what? Let's put those on the mercenary.
I'll put that to good use.
There you go. That's about as good as what you were wearing. No. As far as stacking goes, unfortunately due to, and I think this is a coding limitation of Diablo 2, not something with the mod. If it's not in your personal inventory, and I think you can do it in your personal stash too. I think you can stack them in there. It's not going to actually work. It's kind of a funky thing. But yeah, you have to stack them in your inventory, and then I just move them back. It's not hard to do, but unless you mean if I just shift-clicked it over it there, like, well, not shift-click, control-clicked over like that, I don't know if it auto-stacks. But they are color-coded now. Mildly arbitrarily, but color-coded nonetheless. It doesn't? Okay.
Good to see you.
Adam has played a bit more of the mod than me, which is actually really helpful. Because there will be a lot of things that I don't know just from casually going through it the first couple times. This is only our second time through the mod. For anyone who's watching this, I have not played the mod off camera. Yeah. Well, I have to play other games to do my reviews. This is just hangout time. We can test next time we get a rune drop. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Let's go with... yeah, we'll just go black and just wander. Oh, I need to... players 8. And also worth noting, yes, I know Player's 8 is just XP. Players, generally speaking, and this is one thing that a lot of people get really messed up whenever they go to look at guides, and it slightly disappoints me. Player's 8 is pretty much useless. For those of you that are... The only reason you want to be on Player's 8 is if you're trying to bump your XP up. Anything is better than having 3 mules of low to mid runes? Yes. Without a doubt. With this, I can literally just have... Once a stack gets full, I could make a mule for them, but you're not going to fill up a mule with... Never mind, I can't say that. If you saw my Go Mule file... well, files. I could probably fill up a mule with stacked runes. Do I want to go through the trouble of doing that? No. But yeah, my Go Mule file for single player Diablo 2 and Diablo 2 Resurrected is pretty dang old. It has character files from back from the release of Diablo 2 all the way up to present. So it has all kinds of stuff. Because yes, as soon as I got Go Mule, I started transferring stuff into it. It's survived through several updates and everything like that. Backup character files. I have lost some character files. Just because, oh, I thought, oh, that's not going to be important. And then the hard drive that they were on got deadited. But yeah, as far as online stuff goes, generally I do have 3 to... If I play online and keep my characters anymore, if I do ladder and stuff like that, I just delete my characters afterwards. But if I play online and have a persistent presence, I will have 4 mules, 4 runes. Simply because... have one for like the super low runes that I use a lot of, and then I have one for kind of like the mid runes, and then one for the high runes, and then I have overflow. And overflow is usually stuff like soul runes, shale runes, stuff like that that get used quite a bit. Am runes. You guys better start dropping health potions instead of mana potions. Because I just accidentally used 2 potions on my mercenary. Thank you. Yeah, Soul and Am. Ort's another one that's used a lot in repairs and stuff like that. Rawl. It's just one of those things where some runes do just get more usage, period. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We're not probably ever going to use it, but... Oh, I didn't actually set that. Is that... Oh, I didn't save it. That's why. Zoom, we'll just put on that. rush into the enemy. It feels good to splash them. Yeah. It's just really mana intensive. Mostly, I am unfortunately one of those people that mostly uses dash to just, charge, to get through various areas. And yes, terms will get mixed in my brain. Because I do play too many other games. I'm already working on the Expedition 33 video, by the way. Expedition 33 hit me like a sack of bricks. In case you're wondering, I can wholeheartedly recommend that game. Anyone that likes RPGs. I am noticing a trend in who does and does not like it, though. So that'll help me with the review, funnily enough. That's one thing that's an advantage of reviewing games post-release, is that you can get that kind of information just by watching how people react to it, so you can recommend it better. And yes, we're on Player's 8. This is why I said normal feels like it's a little bit easier. We had kind of similar stompiness with the Necro. Okay, next up, I do actually want to try Vengeance eventually. So we might kit over to that kind of towards the end, whenever we've been able to get like a good weapon. I don't want to use it too much, though. Let's see. Yeah, I do think we just keep going Holy Fire. Go the tried and true route. We're slowly getting more of these. These just give us more survivability for the most part, because they're the ones we were using on the Necro. They only give us so much. Oh, that is good for Mercenary.
I'll put that to good use.
That's good for Mercenary. You hate chugging mana potions? Yeah. And full rejuves, I know. I end up with mules full of them, just as a heads up. I know they are easy to get. It's just my brain puts them into the Elixir Club. Too good to use, because they're a full heal. So it stresses me a little bit to use them. So let's go ahead and see. Nope, they don't auto-stack. It's still easy enough to stack them, but yeah, that is an inconvenience, but it's fine. That's a level 21. What level are we? 18. So 3 more levels and we can actually equip the Greater Might of Colin. I don't know if we can actually upgrade beyond Greater. I don't think we can. Let's see. Yeah, our next one is just going to be the Spirit. Even our Mercenary doesn't have a lot of things they can equip. We could equip these boots instead of ours, but Charm Weight is to keep you from going over. Charm Weight basically results in, if you have more than 40 Charm Weight, your mana gets dropped to 0. There are builds that can use this and load up on charms. There are situations where, and the Necromancer is one of them, where you can just go, I don't care about mana, I'm going with Blood Golem so that I can cast it with my life instead of my mana. And you just load up on charms and go that way. It's possible, it's doable, it's fine. But yeah, if you go over 40, it drops them to 0. I think there is another. Where is it? I thought it actually said it in here, but it doesn't. But yeah, there is stuff with like penalties for it. Are we going to finish Act 1 today? Abso-freaking-lutely. Probably going to get at least to Act 2 or 3. Now, I'm not going to speedrun these. Because the way I run the Twitch channel is, one, it's just to hang out. It's not to do speedruns. And the other thing is, my overall objective is to play it how an average person would play it. So I go in on normal difficulty usually. I use general knowledge as opposed to specialized knowledge and stuff like that, so I can actually do a proper review. And yes, I do plan on reviewing this mod. I'm enjoying it.
This is no place for a warrior.
You see a tier T9 splash charm that needs 10 gems, raw, rare jewel, and a magic small charm. I need to go look at the crafting things for that. It might be an updated version of the mod. I'm still doing the one that we did with the Necromancer run. I need to double check that they updated it, but I'll do that after we finish the Paladin run. Because playing a character across 2 versions of a mod can cause problems. But I have all of the above. I could upgrade to that. Skill-wise, I don't think there's new ones. There's some heavily modified ones. Like the Blood Golem does not actually behave how it did before. It has an aura now that is basically mana curse. So instead of casting stuff with mana, you end up casting it with life. Whenever you have that golem out, you can have multiple golems out, one from each kind. I believe that there is a way to get up to dual golems of a specific type, but you have to really invest in it. But yeah, there's been rebalances. There's ways to get like double fireballs, double bone spears, stuff like that. Come on out, ghosts. I know you can fly through the bars. Oh, minions ignore stuff like bars and stuff like that, and the voids. So whenever you're going through like Arcane Sanctuary, they do just wander off the edge. Your summons do. So that keeps them from getting choke pointed, at least. They do sometimes get distracted by just like, oh, here's a random place I can go. But that's pretty rare. I think probably, and you're not going to get this in a D2 mod, but I think probably the biggest thing I hate whenever it comes to D2 summons is the inability to direct them. That's one thing I really love about Grim Dawn, and I think Path of Exile has something like it as well, where you basically say, hey, target this. And as a primary Necro player, I am envious whenever games have that. Way more set items, by the way. We actually have most of one of the new assassin sets. That claw reminded me of that. Do I bother killing the turrets? No. Click, please. Thank you. I think I was holding the click button too much there. I'm slowly defogging. The caffeine is hitting me slowly but surely. If you ever hear me take a long pause and not moving on screen, that's because I am taking a sip of coffee. And every single one of these times, I keep forgetting. Oh, are we full on gold? No, we're not full on gold. That was weird. That was a bug. Yeah, we have auto gold pickup. It should have grabbed it. Yeah, am I going for every waypoint? Hell no. And we are getting a lot of L runes, so going through players 8 on Act 1 normal might not be a bad idea if you're needing to fill out your rune pool. Because L runes are actually really hard to get as far as vanilla Diablo 2 drops go, believe it or not. Because of how rune drops actually work. I see you in here. I need to save her real quick. Yeah, the shaman's pretty much the only problems here. What character to start with? Do you prefer melee or do you prefer magic? As far as just normal play. Because if you prefer melee, I would go probably Paladin. Barbarian does have some new functions. And he has just generalized mastery instead of unique masteries. He's probably got the most changes in terms of the melee characters. But I would say as far as casters go, Sorceress is going to feel the most rewarding. Just to get your initial gear up. Unless you're doing gear transfer from the base game, which is perfectly viable. I don't think they changed any of the core base items. Paladin feels ridiculous regardless of melee or magic, especially in this mod. Yeah, I generally don't recommend going for... Paladin is broken in vanilla Diablo 2 as well. So, I generally don't go after... It's actually a really good set of gloves. Them as like the first recommendation. Usually I recommend something that's mid-strength. That's better than what she got.
Put that to good use.
It's a good starting character, yeah. But if you already know the base game, yeah, I mean, if you really like Paladin, it's fun so far. And the basic start of doing a Holy Fire Paladin to charge through the beginning of the game still works like a charm. As you can tell, we are decimating.
There is great evil here.
So now we have Mana Leech. Probably going to have to worry about our sword breaking. Never mind. It's got good durability. That's another, I guess that's another improvement for melee characters is weapon durability. Could use some life leech. Mana Leech is nice. I could use some life leech.
key.
Keep forgetting to buy keys. Skull plus jewel on weapon to repair it? Okay. Well, we've got plenty of gems, too. There is one quirk that we're probably going to see in the very near future. Just a heads up. Whenever we get to Andariel, there is a bug that makes her drop vanilla gems, which we have to just craft into this version of the game's gems. Oh, to add leech? Oh. Yeah, we could do that. I'm not sure I want to burn it on this low level of a weapon. Because this is literally just a trash level 7 sword. It's good, and it will get us through the first few acts, but it's not something I want to... One wouldn't be much harm. Maybe not. Probably going to need to upgrade when we get to Act 2 anyway. The Mosaic Sin thing is a little bit more accessible than this, is from what I was told. As opposed to actually running a Mosaic. It's on more items. Let's see. I haven't actually played the Assassin yet, so I can't confirm it. If it's actually way more accessible or not. I love trappers, though. I don't know if they've changed much. I am curious if you can have both the shadows out yet or not. Because that would be an interesting improvement, considering they gave us both the golems. There are mods that do let you have both shadows. Just don't know if this will be one of them. I do notice that we have way less in terms of gem drops in Act 1 because of the modified gems. I think that is one reason why some of the crafting feels a little bit less accessible. But you burn through normal so fast anyway once you know what you're doing. It's not that big of a deal. Am I still a Diablo expert? Probably not anymore. I have all my notes still, so if I ever want to know something, I can just go and grab my notes. What are you shooting at, you jerk? He was very, very angry at that. Oh, he was going for the mercenary on the other side of the wall. Oh, okay, I saw what he was doing. I keep forgetting that we are just using crappy purple leather armor because it's purple, and I keep forgetting that. Physical damage reduction, magic damage reduction, enhanced defense. I think it is better than what we have. So we're back to gray. Sadness. I think we already have these. There's some immunities, but they're not blanket immunities like you have in vanilla Diablo 2. You're not going to run across half of Act 1 being cold immune and stuff like that. Which I generally do prefer not having immunities in games. I am perfectly fine with super high resist or even absorbs, but immunities just feel to me usually. it's kind of weird that I don't mind absorb, but I do mind immunity, because absorb is essentially immunity. But then really, generally with those in other games, this one doesn't have absorb that I'm aware of. But generally, well, it has absorb for players. It doesn't have absorb for monsters. There we go. But yeah, generally in other games, absorb and immunity kind of units, you can kind of tell by looking at them. There's a few exceptions to that, but it's there. After we beat Andariel, probably go look up some Runeward weapon options that we could possibly make. I do have empty socket. I have a 3-socket and a 4-socket phase blade thing I could do. I don't think we have... We might have a 6-socket one as well. I'm thinking about it. Offensive aura, more holy fire. We could be going into zeal. I could up the attack count. We do need to be keeping an eye out because I believe, yeah, it's going to be 24 that we get holy shield. So I might need to work down this to get to holy shield. Holy shield, by the way, still broken as hell. Along with smite. But I don't think there's any way to make those not broken as hell. Yoink and yoink. I thought I heard you coming out. There you go. And yes, mercenaries are still idiots. If you couldn't tell. Saw a video on people testing the different builds on a mod that allows players counts more than 8, and she's the only character that can continue to kill mobs even after players 100, if memory serves you right. Which character? The... Trying to think what the math on players 100 would be. And if it kept scaling at the same rate. Also worth noting, it was in 1.0... Let's say it was 8 or 9. You were able to do that in vanilla. Mosaic? Yeah. Yeah, because Mosaic is broken. I was saying that from day one. There's 2 changes they've done in D2R that I don't like, and that is the Sunder Charm. I think it was a good idea, implemented poorly. And the Mosaic. Should never tie a core function like that to a specific item. Otherwise, you either have to make it overpowered, which they did, to justify people using it, or you have to make it underpowered to the point that no one wants to use it. Which, yes, I think Mosaic is actually horribly designed. And I don't use that term lightly. I can usually find something I like about every item. There's just some just bad ones. Ooh, piece of candy. Attack rating, defense, mana. We lose some of our lightning resist. That's fine.
I'll put that to good use.
Oh, and worth noting, on hell difficulty, your resists are reduced more. just so you don't get surprised when you get there and like, oh shit, I'm dying to everything. Why? It's because your resists are gone. Watching videos of it hurts your eyes. It hurts my video card to play it. I don't even have that bad of a video card. It's only 2 generations out. And yeah, if I get really going on a mosaic, it can actually make me drop frames. As in drop below 60 FPS, which I generally lock things at. That's one thing that I'm surprised. Actually, it might be in the video card settings. I would not. I need to check on that. But I kind of wish that outside of game, I wish I could set a frame limit on my system. I think there might be a way. And it might even be built into it, and I just didn't find it. But I would love to limit my system to just 60 FPS, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Hey, Daladon, how's it going? We're Diabloing. Have you been Diabloing lately? No, you picked it up. Yeah, you can set the frame rate for the monitor, but that doesn't keep the video card from producing more frames, and more flames depending on which, if you have an NVIDIA system. I shouldn't make that joke, but it is hilariously sad to me. You haven't so much work, but you might play a bit today. Cool. Okay, so we're level 20. 1, 2, 3. An holy bolt from an item. The fuck is that noise? You finished rabies on normal? I should do a challenge run on one of these. One run that I have considered doing, and this would make people probably rage at me, is the skillless run. I also thought about going through and beating the game with every skill in the game. Thorns, by the way, is a royal pain in the ass to do that with. Now imagine doing it with Iron Maiden. I think that is the arm truck, judging by the noise. Which means I need to go look and see if they're actually picking up my bulk pickup. Not duck my head out. Can we beat Andariel on Players 8? Probably. Because I am stubborn. Oh look, a tormented sister. Bye. We're gonna back up to pull the other tormented sister back. Summon Necro's actually not that slow once you get kind of set up for it. Go and back up again. Will you actually cooperate, game? She's just determined not to come fight us. There you go. Two socket, lightning damage absorbed. That might be interesting. We can play around with that. Crystal sword. Taunt windstruck. Yeah, usually they critique it as too slow. Playing tag with the ancients. Rabies can be fun. Poison in general is a fun kind of quirky build. I don't mind weird and challenge builds. I think probably the hardest one to do would be Psychic Hammer, oddly enough, as far as the skills go, because it's very expensive for very little damage. And yes, I'm just trying to trim off the trash before we go and face her. And Mercenary is actually good for that because she's just popping these guys. But yeah, Rabies Flameclaw is a combo that I've done a few times. The only thing I don't like about rabies is that it fights other poison. I know. I will destroy her. We are on players 8, so she will do a lot of damage to me, especially since I'm not invested in defensive stats yet. And I have... Oh, actually, I do have poison resist. We'll be fine. I could go drink some antidotes if I really was worried about it. In we go. I like that I don't have to worry about her until... Come on. There we go. And everything around us dies. See, we got normal gems from her. But you don't have to worry about her until you or your minions cross these two flames right here. That is her trigger. The mod rabies is ridiculous. Ooh. Yeah, I drew it as high on my list of things to see what they've changed. That will probably be my 3rd or 4th playthrough. Assassin's probably going to be one of my last ones, even though I actually like the Assassin. I like Trapsins. Like a whole room. At high level, rabies in normal Diablo 2 can plague like most of the cow level. If you go around and gather them up there. I like it in cows, even though it's not super effective.
Good day.
So what are these claws that we got? Plus to shout. It's got flee. Still not up to that. This is interesting. That's interesting, too. This is going to go on our mercenary, probably.
I'll put that to good use.
There are a lot of O skills in this, by the way. O skills are basically classless uses of the skills. But the way they function is... If it's not your class, you get all the points. If it is your class, you get up to, I believe, 3 from an item. So, that is an interesting weapon. I'm never going to use it, but I'm going to keep it. The reason I'm going to keep it is because it's a unique. Might as well keep a copy of it in case we do come up with a build for it. But, I don't like Hit Causes Monster to Flee. It's a personal taste. It's fine if you love it. I personally don't. It's one reason why I don't use it on my throw barb either with the, trying to remember the name of the throwing axe. But the one that has amp on it. The one with amp on is really good for bosses. Yeah, shout increases defense. But it causes monster to flee on the actual weapon is meh. But the spread when they run... I don't like enemies running away from me. No. Okay. Now we get to demonstrate the other kind of annoyance of this. These are your gem bags. You have shit in here I need to remove. Okay. To get these into the gem bag, you have to do them one at a time. But then we can pull them out as P-gems. I mean, I guess Flea does work well with rabies. Although they do kind of run around like crazy little weirdos. Spread the plague. But yeah, I have bad memory. So you have to deal with me forgetting some of the names of things without having my notes in front of me. That's why I script videos usually instead of just off the cuff. Sorry. Oh, we were going to keep that one. into this pile. This is just my junk jewel pile, if you're wondering, for crafting. I have more on I have more on. No, I have more of that on my side characters. Is that like Nigel and Marmalade version? Thought of the disease, I will go spread the plague. Oh God, I don't know if I've seen that one. I love Nigel and Marmalade though. I have binged quite a bit of it. It all blurs in my skull. It is my sense of humor though. Little twisted. Lot of demonic portals for cooking, that kind of stuff. Seriously though, if you haven't watched Nigel and Marmalade, watch it. I can't make you go watch it. I don't want to show it on my channel because, you know, copyrights and stuff like that, and I'm not one of those shitty reaction YouTubers. Yes, I will call them shitty. They can suck a proverbial creative... Never mind. I have no respect for reaction content. Of course, a lot of them don't have respect for gaming channels. That said, in my opinion, welcome to disagree. It is hereby in my memes. Sweet. I will go look after stream. But as far as... Oh yeah, we have one more level to go? Yeah. As far as content goes, reaction is way more lazy than even Let's Plays. Mild plagues, since rabies damage isn't the best. You can tweak it a bit. There is like the plague rune word and stuff like that that can help with it. But yeah, it is not the best ever. I have to say, the orbs actually make Charcy's thing kind of useless. It's good for a temporary crafting. Do I want to stick with Act 1? She's not bad. She is doing fire damage. +5 to rabies? Yeah. There are ways to boost it up, it's just not as strong as other options. That said, Poison Dagger is actually useful in this now. So you could build a Poison Dagger Necro and not have to rely... Oh, we got another fake gem. Yeah, and you don't have to rely on just Poison Nova for everything and just holding a dagger. You can actually use the Poison Dagger. Poison. Poison is the best. Sing for offense. God. Damn it. Now I want to play... I know that's a weird trigger for it, but I want to play more Expedition 33. I might have to stream my New Game Plus runs. I love that game. There's gonna be fighting. I'm in. Between the banter of Francois and... I knew it was going to be something special as soon as I heard the banter between Esquier and Francois. You see the montage Monaco clips all the time? They're great. They're priceless. Fighting people in progress. I mean, that is the way to go. I think we have actually gotten one of the rare sewer layouts. Fun. So we get to go on a walk. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, usually 99% of the time, You come in through this entrance. Stairs are going to be closed here or here. 99% of the time. There is a rare chance you end up with this shit. Which means we get to do the sewer walk. It should be over here to the left. But guess we get to show off all the abnormalities of this time. Yeah, if you would have gotten this one in a speed run, that would have been an immediate run restart. If you're doing a 100% run. A lot of people don't do 100% speed runs of Diablo 2 for obvious reasons. It's less impressive to say, oh, I did it in 6 hours versus, oh, I did it in 2 or 1. Actually, I think the Sorceress one is below an hour. I have not kept track on that because I don't. When it comes to speedrunning, I want my speed to be based on skill rather than RNG. And unfortunately, Diablo 2 is very much an RNG dependent speedrun. Skill can get you down into specific ranges. Period. But unless you get the right RNG, you're not going to be breaking world records. Never mind his foot collection, though. He can keep that. Minoko's foot fetish is his own thing. It's kind of creepy that he has to detach them to find his joy from them, but it's from monsters that are paint. But yeah, Minoko's lines are great. Eskier's lines are great too, but his are more like, aw, or just weird jokes that just hit you from the left field. Whereas Minoko's are kind of Ren and Stimpy-ish. Gonna be fighting. And how he, being a good parent, is encouraging his child to fight or go to dangerous places. It's a thing. I like that he polishes feet. That creeps me out to like no reasonable levels. Okay, so that is 21. We're going to go ahead and start coming down this way because that's 21, 22, and then we'll have like one kind of float. I don't think there's going to be much until Act 4 that can really resist our offense here.
Thank you.
Even on Players 8, that is. If we drop it down to Players 1, right now we could destroy Act 4. I am mildly surprised that we're not getting very many good drops, and some of these just don't want to get picked up. Good lord. And yeah, pink, by the way, ethereal. Although I think the gray from Socketed overrides it. So if you're looking for ethereal Socketed, you have to actually look for it. I? I? I think that's an I. That's either an I or an L. Have a good one, Adam. Hopefully the rest of your day goes well. And have a nice, relaxing after work evening or morning, depending on whereabouts in the world or what time shift you work. As a former night shift worker, I am well aware that 7 in the morning is sometimes dinner time. Okay. Yeah, have a good one. I will see you probably tomorrow if you drop by the stream. I will be doing more of the same. I do think I want to do... I'm gonna regret it. A playthrough of Path of Exile 1. Want and should are two different things. They are two very different things, but I should is a keyword there. I think most people know by now, I am not a huge fan of the direction the Path of Exile series has gone. My last time that I enjoyed it was Fall of Oriath. It was like pre-Fall of Oriath, sorry. Because Fall of Oriath, before that released, it was just the right length. You could go through the story, you could enjoy it. I think Fall of Oriath, stuff that they added as far as the story goes, should have been Path of Exile 2. And what we should be getting now should be Path of Exile 3. That's my opinion. That would have made it much more consumable for me. And also, they have a very big tendency to do stat checks in that game. It's not even like, oh, challenge checks. No, it is stat checks. This boss is immune to this kind of damage. You have to do this one to actually beat them. They also check you for this type of resistance. If you don't have this type of resistance, they're gonna one-shot you. Even Diablo 2 doesn't do that, believe it or not. Yes, the lightning from Diablo could be a pain, but it's heavily protected, and you can run away from it. We're gonna get poisoned like hell. Hello, Radamant. How you doing? Can we heal faster than the poison? Yes. Barely. Look at that poison go.
I pray that Atma will rest easy now.
I knew I shouldn't. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I did it anyway.
Well,
It's fast travel to town. That's what it is. I was at one live. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I am well aware. Let's go and resurrect our friend. Go get our body. Yes, I'm going to walk to the body. I could just save and exit and return. But I got cocky. We are getting convoluted maps, by the way. Which is a bit of an odd one. I should have just TP'd out and gotten it cured. I am surprised that his last little bit of Holy Bolts didn't actually kill them, though. And yes, we have to go this way. Yes, I know the other way is quicker, but I'm not going to be punching... I could. Actually, I could. Hey, guys. I can just punch through them. Because our AoE is from a charm. So it just does... Oh, we are overburdened? Oh, okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and toss that in there. We'll deal with it in a minute. I want to pick those up. This is why I don't play hardcore very much while streaming, unless I am being very consciously cautious. The Holy Fire Paladin just does not care whether he has gear or not. Not reliant on for his damage output. So let's go ahead and see what kind of rune words we can make. We need 3 socket or 4. Let's go with 3 socket weapons, because we can actually just buy some.
How may I help you?
We got 2 socket axe. We want fast weapons though, so it'd probably be military pick. So 2 socket military pick maybe.
Stay a while and listen.
Identify me garbage. That. Let's see, that is 1 to 6 lightning. Decent damage. Charge bolt on striking. Yeah, I think that's better.
I'll put that to
A
good
little bit less raw damage, but she'll be shooting out charge bolts, which should make up for that slight gap in damage. So let's see. Let's go ahead and open up the wiki. Wikification of games sucks, but we kind of have to do it. Okay. Open up that. Diablo 2 Reimagined. Go to rune words. Socket count 2. Any weapon. Only 3 rune words found? What? Oh, it's only for ones that only work in any weapon. So we have Iothol, Malshale, and that. That's kind of a weird way to do it. We're going to do axe then. This will work in any axe. It's fine. So. Law is hell. Which is increased attack speed, slain monsters rest in peace, which would be handy for us. We do steel in it, which is tier L. It's a little bit weaker than what we have right now. Strength is actually pretty decent, as crushing blow has a bit of mana per kill. Having 50% movement speed and being werewolf is dizzy. Let me introduce you to the speedy assassin. So strength is level 25 rec. So we're not going to be able to use that for a while. It'll work in any melee weapon, though. Skill-wise, yeah, next level up, we just go ahead and get shield. So let's go ahead and bloop. Holy shield will be super handy. Do we want to shop? Or do we want to just stick with that and just go am tier in it? At level 25, it'd be the same level rec as our spirit sword. I'm going to buy that. Probably going to end up making it. But I'm going to do a quick jump in and out. See if we can find a slightly better weapon. We're looking for very fast. So it's going to be either a sword or a... Excuse me. That just came out of nowhere. But... yeah, it's either going to be a sword or a flail. Probably. And this is another 2-socket one that's saber. I think we would rather have this. 7 to 11 versus 3 to 8. I think these are both negative 10s. If I remember correctly. I might be misremembering. Scimitar, I believe, is a negative 20. Normal swords. Okay, so this one is a... yeah, this is a negative 10. We go to swords. Scimitar is negative 20. Saber is negative 10, yeah. I was right. Yeah, the only one that would actually give us an appreciable speed difference is this. It's also 2-socket. but significantly less damage. I'm overthinking this because this is not going to be something that lasts us long term. It's just going to be one of those things. We do have a three socket Morning Star here, which does open us up to, I believe, go with Mace. There's Desire, Malice. Malice we're not going to do. Peace Reimagined. Tier FL. Increase attack speed, block rate, faster hit recovery, gives all resists. You feel incorporeal, it makes us feel. There is Patience, which is level 19, which is mana per kill and experience gain increase. Temptation is plus all skills, increase attack speed. It reduces our strength and gives knockback. And then we start getting into the level 30 plus stuff. There's Lightning, which is Ort Am. These are not in level base. They are kind of strangely ordered. That one's too high level, otherwise I would do the quickness on striking. Ort Am is very tempting. It's level 9 lightning on striking, which is kind of useless to us, but that's some damage. Holy Shock Aura when equipped. Not bad. Lightning Resist, Lightning Absorb, and Life Stolen per hit. That might be the one we go with. It's either that or Temptation. Because the rest of these seem kind of interesting, but not exactly what we need. That doesn't... Well, that has flat increased damage. Yeah, I think we do lightning and just wait until 25. Go and grab this for now, and if we can get a 3-socket flail, I'll take it. We'll do probably like 5 walks in and out. This is 1. Reason we want a flail is because it's faster.
How may I help you?
I will also look at the axes and stuff like that in case we get a 3-socket, but probably won't. Worth noting, we cannot get a 4-socket here, so I can't do any 4-socket recipes unless I go transfer in a weapon. We'll probably eventually be using a phase blade just in case anybody's curious.
Greetings.
And no, I'm not worried about wasting gold picking up these weapons and holding on to them. I could look at the 2-socket swords. I mean, we didn't pick them up, but we could look at them. There's the flail, and it's actually superior, so yoink. Sword-wise, no. You have a 3-socket axe now. We can keep those. Wait a minute, what was that 100% chance to cast? Oh, when we level up? Ew. Ew. Gross. Okay, so that actually works in any 3-socket weapon, by the way. The lightning one. I think the flail is still our preferred pick out of the two. We can get a 3-socket sword. And there are certain weapons that can have 3 sockets that you can't get them here. In case you're wondering, like the Crisp Blade. For like Poison Dagger Necros, you cannot get a 3-socket in normal. Because it requires too high of a level item than what they can provide here. And we can go look and see what 3-socket axe choices we have, too. They're probably going to be pretty similar. So this is going to be our last check on Farah. She has nothing, I don't think. Nope. Yeah, we don't want this. This is slow as balls. Longswords are not bad. Like, we can't get a 3-socket one of these. We can only get 2-socket. These don't get 3-socket until Act 3 drops, I believe, or Act 4. We might be able to see them drop off of enemies in Act 2 because of the Talrasha temples. But it's pretty uncommon. Same reason we can get a broadsword off of the Talrasha temple and roll it to 4. If we get it from the right enemies. Okay, let's go buy some keys. Because I keep forgetting to do that.
I've heard that you
Oh, it's Lysander. I hate having to shop around for bullshit. There they are. And stack it up to 100. That goes down there. Our junk jewel moved up here instead of using it as a placeholder. Let's see what 3-socket axes there are. I think lightning is going to be where we end up going. There's a level 39 one that's pretty interesting. It's Pestilence. Plus the poison explosion, bunch of poison damage, extra poison skill damage, boosted poison length reduction, magic find, that kind of stuff. That might be good for your guy, Daladon. For your plague werewolf. It's called Pestilence. And it's axe specific. Pestilence. Pestilence. It's axe specific. I can speak. And it's Soul Co. IO. And we have a bunch of stuff that's super high level that I can't use. Not yet, at least. We'll eventually get there. We'll probably use it in higher level stuff. Blood Moon is interesting. 35% reduction to enemy fire resist. Casts Meteor on striking and Fireball on striking. That's kind of fun. Yeah, there's Crescent Moon, Blood Moon, Winter Moon, and Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon is scary. 15% chance to cast level 13 Corpse Explosion on striking. Damn. Level 17 Poison Nova on striking. Enemy poison resist down. That's kind of fun. And then there's Full Moon, which is Blessed Hammer and Bone Spear. These are reimagined. These are the mod ones. I don't know if you're doing modern, unmodded. If you are doing unmodded, then Plague is the one that you'd be wanting to look for. And that is, I believe, a sword and dagger rune word, if I remember correctly. You have both? Yeah. Yeah, it's a if you're going for Plague on vanilla. It's a higher level one, of course, but still not bad. Jeweled Circlet. We actually have another part of that set, by the way. We'll go Circlet, and I think we are going to just make this sword. It's going to be Ort Am. I'm gonna sound like Swedish Chef for a little bit. Okay, so Ort. Am. Do we actually have a lot of these? Yes, I have plenty to spare. Ort. Ort. Am. And do I want it in flail or pickaxe? I think I want it in flail. Simply because we got an exceptional version of it. So those two are going to get sold. So Ort, Am. That's not bad. It's not super high damage, but it'll work with what we're doing. It adds 2 to 100 lightning damage to the weapon. It gives us lifesteal. We got kind of middling enhanced damage on it and pretty decent resist. It goes up to 50. And lightning absorb is max. Oh, actually, we got low weapon damage because we already had a % on there. I just realized. Yeah, this would be fun in a two-handed axe. Run it on a barbarian. Or on a bear source. Of course, you'd need elite weapon for a bear source, but still. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of these. We've spent enough time in town that we should probably head back out. Storm Visor can go to her, I believe. Or do we actually... I think we prefer the one she has on there. Although, yeah, we do. So that is our weapon upgrade. Is it better than our... Yes, it is actually better than Spirit. So 3 more levels. Sorry. And we can use it. Sweet. Time to go outside. Oh, and we actually have a good Drognan farm here as well. If we wanted to do any scepter farming. Which probably should have been what I did. I should have actually scepter farmed. I'm a dumbass. 2-socket shields? Where are you? Any shield. Yeah, none of the new shields are particularly great unless we actually have a paladin shield. And I swear they made Baby's First Viscera Tuant as a rune word. The plague comes for you, Flayer Jungle. It comes for you! Ha 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 ha! It's actually really good in dealing with the flayers and stuff like that, because it kind of sticks on them. So I can't complain about that one. Am I too concerned about the mercenary dying? Not really. I'd rather her not die, because she's just extra fire support, but for the most part, we are self-contained. In that we don't have to worry about our mercenary dying and robbing us of effectiveness, kind of like whenever she died when we were relying on her for thorns. Okay, unique zombie head just randomly in the desert. Death's Witness. A level 9 wreck plus 1 necro skills. That's actually good. It may not be the best helmet ever, but at level 9, that's going to be better than anything you can get. But yeah, you know what? Whenever we do Druid, remind me, and I will try to remember to do Rabies going through. Just for the lulz. That said, we're probably actually going to do Poison Javelins for the Amazon starting out. I don't think people really appreciate just how strong Poison Javelin is for going through normal on players 8. It falls off super fast, but it is it is actually fairly mana efficient and massive amounts of damage. It's hilarious you don't throw the jabs at the enemies. Exactly. What we would do, don't know if I can actually demonstrate it on the Paladin, is we would get enemies chasing us, and you actually want to throw it kind of like off at an angle from them. Or you can do the easier perpendicular path, where if you're having enemies coming up this way, like that one just did, you'd throw it this, like across there, and then run straight up, so they'd go through it. And then you have Poison Javelin, you have Plague Javelin. The one that causes the circles of poison, you can do kind of the same thing with. But the straight line one is just as good, if you know what you're doing. Of course, I also need to remind people that Frozen Orb is almost as good as Blizzard if you know what you're doing as well. Because if you can peg it just right, you'll be doing something like 30 some odd hits of those little spikes to a single target. Which, if you're wondering, is as strong as a single drop of Blizzard. Sometimes two if you have the right setup. And it's a lot less points to invest. So you're getting about 80 to 90% of the power for less than half the points. Of course, there's also Blizzard Orb now, because they don't share cooldowns anymore. Which did make Ice Mages stronger. I still would prefer if Sunder Charms were end of formula rather than beginning formula. That way, it would reduce them to, okay, this enemy is still durable, instead of, oh, I'm just disassembling this enemy now. I do like enemies actually having some meat on their bones. I don't think everything needs to be one shot, and I don't think everything needs to take half an hour to kill. That's not going to sell for a lot, but it was neat to look at. Speaking of neat to look at, rare amulet, yay! It might last us until we get up to the level for our better one that has all the resist and +1 paladin skills. So I need the waypoint. Oh, and today is going to be just a flat 4-hour stream, most likely. I have things I need to get done, as I mentioned in the beginning. And yes, I'll be uploading the archive of these as well. If you one-shot them, you can't rabies them. That's why you use a scimitar on your second weapon slot to apply, then fight the big ones with a maul or a great axe. Means you're doing decent damage normally. Which means you are a fury druid that poisons. Brah. One thing that I do kind of wish, and I think it probably would have worked better with it, and this is sadly something that they needed to learn with all the poison skills, reduce the duration on the poison, first of all. But I kind of wish that rabies worked kind of like Fade, where you could build it up and then just play with it as a side effect on other things, rather than as its own attack. At least that, in my opinion, that would work better. We are not hitting very well. I need to do more dex or more accuracy boosts. Which we can get through a few things, and we just got a unique bow for her. Boop. Warp Wind. +6 multi-shot for the Amazon. Not a no skill, but it's got knockback, which actually might get on our nerves. Why can't you use that? Oh, you're one level too low. That would be why. Okay, so you go there. Faster cast is useless on her. Let's say mana is not really worthwhile. That's our exit. Want the waypoint. Why do I want the waypoint? Because I want it. It's not actually going to do anything, but the further we go in, the more risk I have of dying and having to take an hour-and-a-half long walk of shame. You know what I hate? Them their walk of shames. That's why I exploit the autosaves in Expedition 33. Swap a weapon on a non-party character, get an autosave. Then you just have to take 3 steps forward to actually reach where you're going instead of walking all the way from the last save point or battle. I do love the save system in that. Because it's the combat is a turn-based RPG. But yeah, the combat is a turn-based RPG. So you do have like a beginning and end battle that's hard pressed into it. Your friend called taking the soda bottles back to the return machines in your country for the walk of shame because he had to do so many all the time. Ouch. I feel mildly called out on that. If I was in Germany, I'd be doing the walk of shame, probably. But at least there they recycle stuff. I know you're not in Germany. That's just the first place that comes to mind whenever it comes to actual proper recycling systems. Because they are stringent on it. So give me the money to expatriate to Germany and I will sprechen Sie Deutsch. In a heartbeat. Am I going to pronounce it well? No. I will pronounce it like an American. But that's because I am bad at slipping in and out of accents on accident. For anyone that's curious, 90% of the time I'm doing an accent, it is not intentional. But yeah, Germans are good at recycling. They are very upset with your poor plastic collection. Aw. Plastic is a weird one to recycle, too, for anyone that's curious. There's so many different types of plastic is the reason why. It's not even that, oh, it's like super hard to recycle. No, there's actually really easy to recycle types of plastic, and there's a lot more that are reusable even. Where you don't have to worry about recycling, but they can very easily get mixed up because one clear type of plastic may not be as recyclable as another clear type that feels exactly the freaking same. You send your plastic there to be recycled. It's like receiving second or third rate collection control. I'm feeling bad for Germany in that case. I wish recycling here was actually treated seriously. What it is here, I hate to be cynical about it. In most places in the US, if you have a recycling bin, it's not actually getting recycled. For anyone that is even remotely curious about it. What you're basically doing is sending it to a second landfill. which is stupid, but this is awful. You must do better, ja. I cannot do the fake German accent very well. Ja. Because weirdly enough, at least here in the US, I can't speak for other countries. The US's version of a fake German accent is completely different from the German accent of anybody I know who's actually from Germany. It's so weird. Because most people I know who have an actual German accent, like, there are German creators that I regularly interact or watch with that don't actually have the accent despite being from Germany. Like, Karanai is a good example. He does not have a German accent, as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't sound like he has... He sounds more of a British accent, almost. But he is German. And it will sometimes slip in, but not very often. But most of the people I know who have a proper accented, as they speak English, German accent, don't go as guttural as the US parody of it. They actually speak a little bit higher in their mouth than most Americans would imitate it as. That's the only way I can describe it. It's not really a good way of describing it because I'm bad at describing phonetics. Okay, so this is a right turn. Yeah, that was a convoluted one. Of course not. Modern German is the camp version of any Germanic language. Okay. I mean, I can see that. Yeah, it's way more gentle. If that makes sense. Here, a lot of people, when they imitate German, it's very much Nazi Germany levels. I should probably phrase that as 1930s Germany levels. Where it's harsh and in your face. Guten Tag. Like, no. Guten Tag. It's not as... And you don't mean that negatively, but honestly, around the time they called the mobile phone their handy, pronounced handy. I did not know they called it handy. Oh. I kind of like that one. That's one of those... One thing I do like sometimes picking up is various slang for things in different languages. And using that in conversation just to kind of like... It is a really good litmus test in the US if you use regional slang from another country as to just how worldly someone else is. And just how racist they're going to be. So if I use, like, bloody and stuff like that, if it gets a weird look, I know that they are not at all worldly. Because that is just very basic Britishism. And for the most part, Americans are very exposed to Britishisms. That means they have not left their corner of the swamp. Speech in Danish makes Americans laugh at no end? Probably, unfortunately. Swedish is another one that will make a lot of Americans laugh. Especially if the American's trying to pronounce it just by reading it. There's a few common examples on US memes that are looking at, like, Swedish signs. And I can see why Swedish chef memes became a thing here. Yes, I know it's not pronounced like that, but I can see why. There's one for a BMX place that in particular is standing out on my brain right now. Fart. Oh, speed in Danish is fart. It's probably not pronounced fart. Fart control is speeding. I love it. That, you'll either get the people who love it, or you'll get the person who's like, how dare you? And carrying out on your ass. We're gonna lose our mercenary here. Unless they actually reduce the poison, they might have. You guys are taking HP 2s. Speeding well observed.
Good day.
I mean, if you observe the farts. He thinks I'm interested in the Staff of Kings. You moron. Why would I care about the Staff of Kings? Okay, Fiend Slayer. That might tide us over for the next half a level. It's a little slower, but it's a lot more damage. And it gives us a bunch of resists. And a per kill, no. Rule breaker. Doesn't really seem to break too many rules. Gives us +1 holy fire. I'm not going to use it though. That can go away. That can go away. Those can go away. That goes away. That's actually... Is that going to be better for you? Yes. More attack rating for our mercenary. Yeah, I like fart control. As cheesy as that sounds. Da 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 da. Yes, I will make that joke. Almost any time. Let's go get our last level so we can use a real weapon. It's not a real weapon, it's just slightly better than what we have. If you have cheesy farts, please see a doctor. In the US, they call it cutting the cheese. That's the joke with that one. It's not a good joke. In fact, it's a really crappy joke, but... If you have thick farts, you may want to just change your pants. If you do not have fart control, you might want to see a doctor. Sorry. I've gone down a rabbit hole. Oh, that was dumb on my part, and I apologize for some of it. Okay. Stat-wise... Did we actually already... No, we have... We're going to hit 24, so we have a level and a half that we have to use this sword for. Ah, sorry. Dumb jokes I love. Okay, let's go find the waypoint down here. With our machete. I swear, that does not look like a falchion. That looks like a machete. And yeah, we'll only pick up gold when we're alting, I think. Due to how the mechanic of it works. Well, you guys don't survive much, do you? Let's go look up some of those 2-socket shield ones as well. While the death beetle just kind of slowly crawls towards. So shield-wise, we have Penitence, which is half freeze duration, with auto-repair. We've got Hunger. Increased chance of blocking life stolen per hit. Drains your life. Gives you resist some other stuff that's pretty nice. That's level 33 requirement. There are no, like, low requirement shields. Other than Penitence, Revenge. Even Hunger's not low. You can do it, Mercenary. I believe in you. Revenge is not bad. But I think none of these really work for us, so we're not going to use them. Life Drain is fine if you have Life Replenish, which we actually do. We have enough Life Replenish to counteract that Life Drain. Because I think we do. Oh, no, we don't get them yet. We get them at 40 at the earliest, I believe. Yeah, we get them at 40. So we can't even use that right now without just having massive detriments. Now, I'm not sure whether I want to go into the next area without getting this waypoint. Just for the sake of sanity, because there are some pretty shady, annoying things that can happen in this next area. I guess we could do, like, Rhyme or something like that. Level 29 requirement. That's Shaleth, for those that are wondering. That is a vanilla one. You guys not run away for just, like, half a minute? That would be great. Yeah, this, in my opinion, Diablo 2 is still the quintessential action RPG. I don't think any of the spiritual successors have quite hit the mark the same as far as the itemization and class kind of stuff goes. Some have come close, things like Titan Quest, Grim Dawn. Even some of, like, the indie ones have done pretty good. There's been other ones that have done really good on the story end, like Nox and Shadows. But as far as just being a good basic action RPG with good itemization, I don't think really any has hit the same spot as Diablo 2 for me. And no, Diablo 1 did not hit the spot either. But that was the first foray. Titan Quest awakened a deep dread of spiders, so definitely. I kind of got... Titan Quest overstayed its welcome for me. As far as doing a playthrough. Like, a playthrough of this, by the time I get to end of Act 5, I'm a little tired of the character that I'm playing, but give it a day or two and I'll just be fine going into the next difficulty. It doesn't, like, burn me out that hard. But as far as even Grim Dawn, usually by the end of the story, I'm like, I just want to play another character. Or I want to play another difficulty. If that makes sense. I don't want more story after a certain point. I just want the story to end. Which sounds kind of cruel, because I know that a lot of work goes into some of these stories. And there's usually a lot of lore just poking around. And they're not badly done in that regard. It's just they hit a drag point. Where I just feel like I'm tired of chasing the MacGuffins. In Diablo 2, I never felt like I'm chasing the MacGuffins. Where is the waypoint on this infernal map? It's probably just right over here. But yeah, in Diablo 2, I never feel like I'm just chasing the MacGuffins. In Diablo 3, I feel like I'm chasing MacGuffins kind of towards the end of it. But it's not horrible in that regard. It's just, I have other reasons for having disdain for Diablo 3. It doesn't give you class flexibility whatsoever. Whereas Path of Exile, it gives you class flexibility because there are no classes. There's just what you start with and what the rewards are going to be. You kind of fiddle around from there for the most part with a lot of them. You are limited to an extent because of where you start on the passive tree. That's about it. But you can be a freaking summoner in any of the classes. You just have to work your way around to get the stuff for it. Sure, you'll be weaker if you go with something opposing to it, but you'll still be fine. Unless you start pushing like really high maps. It's part of the whole rhythm of the game, yeah. And there are games that I can just dig into for 20, 30, 60 hours and not have that problem with. Action RPGs, unless they really do well with the story. Like Nox, I actually think did a pretty good job because you weren't really chasing MacGuffins. I think if it was any longer, it would start feeling like it. The pacing would start feeling off. I think its base pacing is good. Because it ends right around whenever you're going to start hitting, I don't want to chase after another MacGuffin point. Oh, you're immune to fire. Hi, guy. I need you on this side so I can push you towards the wall. But yeah, even a lot of turn-based RPGs that are story thick, I will eventually reach the point of I don't care about the characters anymore because we've just been sitting there dragging on them for so long. Okay, so 68, 74. Now we have blockage. Man, I love the look of Holy Shield in this so much better than in the original. I think that is... Nope, that's a new one. Wreath of Suffering. Crushing blow, strength, vitality, and has drain life too. How fast does that drop our life down? Not terribly fast, but without life leech, I can't really do that yet. Unless I really want to be chugging these health potions. That might fill in our last small charm slot. Why not? Now we do a little bit of lightning damage. And yeah, I do eventually need to sit down and make one of these streams be focused in on doing some of the asset work for the channel. I don't know if I'm going to do it on this channel or if I'm going to make a side channel for that kind of stuff. Come on. These guys get on my nerves a little bit. It's not that they're the worst thing ever. It's just they're annoying. Because they keep hopping away. They ask if I have any grapes and they waddle. I do know that there are people who their gaming enjoyment is literally just out of the difficulty of a game. That's fine. Although it's worth noting, no, Souls-likes are not difficult. Okay, so she should be level 21 or 2 now. Okay, so that should be all of them. Ooh, we got some more heavy gloves. I don't know if they did this. Yeah, no. That is very strange. So they must have. They had to have made it where uniques are non-exclusive anymore. That makes farming for specific ones even worse. Life and poison resist versus lightning damage and fire resist. I think we're going to stick with the poison resist. Yeah, and we're just looking for into the temple. I would not mind getting the waypoint, but this is probably super pixelated on YouTube and Twitch side. Because that's how darkness goes. Especially with the compression that I use. I use CBR for going to Twitch and YouTube, and I use... I think it's CRF. It's the one that is a goal of a fixed quality regardless of bitrate for local recording. Although that has been weirdly enough getting buggier for me, so I'm not sure what's causing that. I've been getting more pixelation on those. So if you see pixelation in dark areas on those, I am sorry. There's nothing I can do about it unless I set it to be so memory intense, so like storage intensive that I can only store one game at a time as far as playthroughs. Which is not a good thing. That is not what you want to do. Especially whenever you are as behind as I am on writing the reviews. Oh, Dark Elder. Hi, guy. How you do? And drop anything good for me? Nep runes and some chain boots. Sure, I'll take it. It's not a me wand. It's a you wand. Half freeze duration is not bad. I think I prefer the one she has, though. So we'll leave it like that. Wreath of Suffering might actually be decent on her. Because that crushing blow and stuff, but it's a reduced crushing blow because she is ranged. Darkness called, but I was on the phone, so I missed it. I tried to 69 Darkness, but his machine picked up. Tried to star 69. You tried to 69 Darkness. Giggity. I yelled, pick up the phone, Darkness, but he ignored me. Darkness must have been screening his calls. Aw. It's always bad when the void doesn't call back. Seems like that's arranged in song lyrics, by the way. Hath not heard that song. Let's see. Oh, that one is from Warcraft. Mal'Ganis. Yes? Oh, hello, Darkness, my old friend. Have you called to talk to me again? No, I still don't have the Demon Hunter's number. Ask the other one. I still think my favorite Warcraft quote is still the one about you got a chip on your shoulder? And some fish, too. I should play through Warcraft 3. I need to go find my disc again. I know I still have it because I found it while I've been here. It's in a box somewhere now, though. We got the waypoint. And now we're into the temple. The Dryad quotes. The human call.
Light guide my way in this.
The human call just goes to my brain right now. Let me practice my human call. I'm so horny. I'm so horny. Oh, Lord. Memories. Sweet, sweet memories. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm so wasted. I'm so wasted. That's what it was, not I'm so horny. I'm so horny is from an entirely different skit. Horny dryads and warlords. I do love it whenever, because a lot of times you'll see things like making parodies of just like the cliches about elves and dwarves and stuff like that. Yada, yada, yada. I love it whenever games take the piss out of humans. We might have to turn it down from players 8. I don't know. We'll see how we do whenever we get our new weapon. I'm actually having to use potions now. I don't want to use potions. There's some tier runes. Spiked shield probably going to be less block than ours, unfortunately. So probably don't want to use it. Oh, that's probably the reason we have been having damage output issues. I didn't have Holy Fire on. And Holy Shield this whole time. I know what you mean. Who you want me to kill? Let's just toss all that. Oh, we can't toss those in there if we still want them to auto stack. Toss that in there. Yeah, that's why our damage was low. If I don't notice it, how are you guys supposed to notice it? I am very easily distracted. I am sorry. Yeah, I forgot to turn on Holy Fire after making the Holy Shield. Holy Shield only lasts like 30 seconds right now. I probably won't be keeping it up all the time. Not that it's going to be terribly hard to, it's just I'm going to keep forgetting to turn it back on. That was our damage without Holy Fire. We were just basically ignoring 90% of our normal damage. Because I am SMRT smart. Oh, Gouda. Who needs Holy Shield? I do. Can't even see all the items on the ground. That was too many enemies. Okay. Yeah, we're about... We might... I don't think we're going to get it before the guy down here. We'll be fine. Now, part of me wonders... If I go and get the Roger Cube, like if I drop the one I have and I go and grab one, I'm wagering it is just a blanket mod to the Roger Cube, and this is not a special one. I think it'd be hilarious if it was a special one and you get a new one and it's just like, nah, you can't have that room anymore. You ditched the item we gave you. You're not appreciative. I don't think that would be possible to do without a code edit, unfortunately. What did I pick up? I don't know what I picked up. It's fine. Equinox Visor, Summon Spirit Wolf, +3 to Lycanthropy for Druid only. Lightning resistant mana per kill. Is it better than this? This is Strength and Vitality. It's better than what she's got. It is!
I'll put that to good use.
Yes, I hear them in there. That's so much easier. Okay, this is probably going to be the stairs. Down to Pain. Look at all those runes. I'm going to go ahead and just pop that just in case something stupid happens down here. Because, you know, it's me. I am the stupid thing that happens down here. And there's our rare jewel if we wanted to do that crafting, that thing that was mentioned earlier. Not gonna, but yeah, we could.
The light can never be extinguished by evil.
The light can never be extinguished by evil. Not by evil! Everything can be extinguished by evil. If you let it. Identify. Oh, that can get sold. That can get sold. That is going to be not in our cube. Okay, so that goes, that goes. So, you know, that goes on Mercenary.
I'll put that to good use.
That goes in there for now. And we'll just throw these in for now. Okay, so there's our staff. I was curious if it would do it each time I placed it in there. It did not. This can go in there because we actually don't mind that. And this goes up here. Because we actually, this is our purchasing slot, in case you're wondering. It keeps things from getting expensive. So those get sold. This can go there for now until I decide what to do with it. Sold, sold, and stacks. Starting to see all them runes. And we're getting up there on the L runes. This is where we're going to end up getting most of them as we proceed into Nightmare and Hell, by the way. Just because of the odds of drop and how runes roll. Okay, so we don't sell the weapon on the right. We sell all these. Anything in here worthwhile? Probably not. But now we get to go into the fun place. I'm going to come back in here for just a second, though. Oh, I was disappointed. I was hoping that they'd have some HP 3s on the ground. But they do not, so we have to stick with HP 2s. No. It's fine. Can we actually make full rejuves just by doot? Yes.
Hello.
I'm going to need full rejuves. That's the only reason why I was looking at that. Okay, so now she does 34 to 77. She has multi-shot, but she can never use it because she's mercenary. Okay, Drognin, we need you. Let me into the palace. We look perfectly friendly. Just a dude with a giant machete running into the palace. That's fine. Do you like dudes running into your palace? Call now. 555, I don't give a lie. Yeah, as soon as we level up, I'm putting that flail on. How do you feel about letting dudes run into your basement, unchecked with machetes? Sounds like a euphemism for something. Yoink, yoink. Still no comment. My palaces are very accommodating. Nod, nod. Still no comments. Okay. I guess up to 75 block. Mostly going to be using that kind of stuff for dealing with Duriel and stuff. Now we have multiple auras. How does this make you feel? Murdery! Just a little bit murder. What is our damage with that? 234 to 594. I think we're good for normal. And for the most part, I'm not going to be stopping too much in here to fight. I mean, yeah, I'll kill some things along the way just to get XP. But between the horror archers and some of the other enemies here and us being melee, life's going to suck a little bit. But you notice things aren't going to survive very well, though. For baby's first Oradin. And if you're ever needing to fight something absolutely awful as a summoner, come get these blunderbores. That's what I had to do to kill the ancients without getting irritated. Because they was too spongy for me. Okay. The lighting on the ground looks weird. But off we go. Oh, it's Fire Eye right off the bat. Okay. Unraveler Head, a Nephroon, and a bunch of archers that deserve to die. At least they don't take more than one hit. Good lord. My Lanta. I love the music in there too. Here, less so, but in the palace, I could just sit there and listen to that music all day. We're going to start in top left. Probably wrong way, but it's fine. Fear my dangly ball. Now I'm trying to remember the game. I think it was Baldur's Gate 3 had the bug where the stiff flail, where the flail got stuck in like a straight line, so it was like rigid. Thank you. Yeah, where it got stuck in a straight line. That is... We have another part of Greyhawk, so that might actually be halfway decent. It's on our set character. Although the new sets are generally way more useful only if you have all of them. But yeah, the flails would sometimes get stuck in like a rigid stiff pose, so it looked like they're using this really weird looking mace. Oh no! Leave her alone! Who cares? They don't stand a chance. Can you imagine what it would be like to kind of walk through just a weird shimmering light? End up in a place like this, where you could just look over the edge and see a drop into the infinite void beneath you. That'd be terrifying. I'm not sure I would be able to walk through this place as a person. If you stop and think about what kind of deep-seated fear that would bring you, it would be worse than the depths of the, like people who are afraid of the depths of the ocean is a thing. Because of just the sheer scope of it, among other things. Hey, we get a ruby. Starting to get gems. But yeah, people will be afraid of that kind of stuff. And I can't blame them for that. And then there's the whole concept of just the infinite vastness of the void. Yeah, let's grab their gold. This is going to be really hard to sort through, especially if we get a super chest. That said, these chests are actually really good for rune farming. Because they work like the chests in Lower Kurast. They just can't go as high as those. As far as sorting these, I'll do them later. That can get sold. Those go in there. We'll condense them. Bonk, bonk. That gets sold. That gets put into the junk pile. That's going to get sold.
How may I help you?
And yeah, weight only counts usable charms, not just random charms. Oh, yes, please. There's our spirit. Edge should be able to be equipped on her now. Question is it better than what she has? I think it is. So now we have 75% block without Holy Shield. That's good. Max resist because Jesus. And plus all skills. Plus we have a chance of crushing blow just from it. I believe it's like 2/3 or something like that. A 0.6666 whatever. Scalar. And we have enhanced weapon damage, so we do more physical damage. That's gonna be a bit of a hoss. Why do we have +1 max fire res? Where are we getting that from? Is it from one of these? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, I know what that's from. I'm an idiot. I am a very big idiot. You want to know what it's from? It's from that. Because I keep forgetting we have that. Mainly because we are still going for holy, just raw fire. So now we're going to have an even easier time with bosses because of that crushing blow. That should be Siverbs. Nope, it's Corgina's. Groovy. Sorry, you gonna make a summoner druid or a summoner necro? Lazy characters are fun. Laziest characters are super expensive though. But yes, necro is just an easy lazy character like summoner necro is. And that's not super expensive to do. Probably the laziest build is the Nova Sorceress. That is literally hold right click and sometimes press E and F for me just to swap between two skills. To go from teleporting to Novaing and just I will literally just sit there and watch shows while dancing around with that. I do need to see if necro summons are actually improved in this. Necro summons can take you through... Not necro summons. Druid summons can take you through Nightmare pretty easily, even in vanilla, without Twink Gear. And it is worth noting, you said you had old Diablo 2. If you still have your old saves, they do transfer over. You just have to copy them from folder to folder. How many auras do we have? All the auras. What aura would you like? Yes. Okay, nothing good there. I mean, we could take the rejuves. We don't need them yet. It's the peace ring. Peace and happiness, my dude. More insight, please.
Greetings.
I mean, even as a summoner, I love having a lot of insight. That one can go away, and that one can go away. This is going to get sold. Stack up our runes again, because that is what we're doing, because we have it on players 8. We're getting all the bloody runes. Oh, and I went to the wrong place. I need to be going to the waypoint. Which direction do we want to go? Let's go bottom. This should be teleporter path. No, this is the normal path. Okay. There's normal path, stairs, teleporter, and a few other. It's normal path, teleporter, stairs, and crap, I'm forgetting what the other one was. I think it's stairs light. I never remember what I used to call them. Sorceress will probably be one of the later ones we do as well, by the way. Not because she's gear dependent, but because she's going to be easy regardless. I mean, they're all going to be easy. Now, especially now that we know that the bosses are spongy. We can build for that. This just feels like cheating. I'm sorry. Normal difficulty just generally does these days. Unless I'm doing a challenge run. Don't even engage with the ones down there? I mean, they're not even minions, so why bother with them? I think this might be the right path. Yeah, it's got the hook. So we've got the summoner casting ice on us. That's fine. Can you stop me, players 8 summoner? I don't think you can. Even with me standing in a firewall, you were unable to kill me. We will make our way to Candy Mountain. You be damned. Speaking of you be damned, let's go lurk on there. There we go. Yeah, he is live. Okay, I will lurk on him. I will be raiding him after this, too. Go ahead and swing that over there. Nice. As far as the one we've got, it is going to be square. See? Now let's see if I remember where square is. I don't even mean the soft kind of square. But yeah, if I was rushing through this, we'd probably be in Act 4 by now. I don't get joy from just rushing through stuff. I want to experience the character. I want to savor the flavors of the damage in my soul. Not in my mouth, though. I wager that all this viscera would be kind of bad for the teeth. Tasty. Pretty sure square is on this side. That's circle, smile. That is triangle. I guess square is on the left side. I know the top one's not. Top's gonna be star. I always forget the layout of these because I don't farm Duriel regularly. Literally, the extent of me farming Duriel is I go in and I test if I can kill him very quickly a few times on a build, and then I leave it the hell alone. Because I don't like finding the right dungeon. I don't think anybody does. Just like I don't think anybody really enjoys going through the jungle of Act 3, except for maybe the music. There are tricks to it, and if you're lucky, you can skip stuff on it, but not the best ever. We got blunderbores, so we're not going to have reviving dead down here, at least. Which is always nice. Hate having reviving dead down here with the vampires. And we've gotten 2 of these now. Yay. Forgot to sell stuff. Watch us level up and get access to a charm and then have it ever cross our 40. I didn't sell that stuff. That would serve me right. Am I going to correct this issue? No. Because I don't think it can actually happen. I don't think we have enough things coming in at any level near us to actually allow that to happen. Is that going to be better than the socketed one we had? Ooh, it's 3 sockets. Lower resist, but it's there. In fact, we can actually equip that on our swap if we really want to. We can even do the falchion there. There you go. Ooh, ooh. Sorry, I'm just... The caffeine from the coffee is wearing off. Yes. I am one of those coffee drinkers who... What addicted. For some reason, coffee does not make me hyper. It makes me focus. Of course, I am not a diagnosed ADHD person, but... Considering the amount of time I spent doing psychology stuff, I would wager from my education there that I probably do have a bit of the ADHD. Because I have probably, excluding comorbidities with the things I've actually been diagnosed with, probably about 80% of the symptoms that are commonly used for diagnoses. So guaranteed, no. It might just be my comorbidities going like, hi, we interact this way now. But, yeah. I should not get into deep scientific discussions on the internet. I am not that kind of channel. I am not a science channel. Do not take my words as a medical diagnosis or legal advice. I am not a lawyer. You should consult with legal advice in your jurisdiction. I always feel the need to preface that on, especially copyright stuff. Discussions about, like, fair use. Because I am not a lawyer. I just merely have a lot of experience dealing with that stuff. It is just a reality of my encounters. Kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good... Think of it as a seamstress who has to... Who's like really good at hand sewing. You ask one of them to sew up a wound, they're actually going to do pretty good at it. But they're not going to know all the little idiosyncrasies that you have to keep in mind for flesh sewing. Flesh sewing. But yeah, that's one reason why I try to make it very clear that this should not be used as the final say whenever you hear... If you hear anybody, even if you completely trust their opinions, I don't care if you hear Hank Green talking about a science subject. Take it as a starting point for your curiosity. Yes, I trust Hank Green to have researched all his stuff and get it fairly right, but he will misspeak at times. Everyone will. Use it as a jumping off point to go research, look up some research papers, look up, if you're looking for how to diagnose a mental illness, go look up the DSM-5. That's at least a good starting point that's had a bunch of verification. It's been edited. It's had people look over it more than a few times. You can learn from it. It's good. It's Gouda. It's a good way to approach it. We're going to put this here just in case. We're going to keep it on Players 8. Because I am stupid. I'm a dumbass and I'm going to do this. Yeah, always verify, always cross-reference, always, if you're looking for at a news story, look at multiple different sources. And I don't mean secondary sources. Generally speaking, if you're looking at a source, you're wanting to look at a independent reporting of it. If you're using multiple sources, and if you're thinking you're using multiple sources and they're all referencing the same point, or same article that they are pulling their information from, you are not referencing multiple sources. You're referencing multiple references to one source. So keep that in mind whenever you are looking up kind of like verification of stuff. A good example of that is trying to think of how to explain it, because you can have multiple articles referencing one event. That is multiple sources. If you have one, like 3 articles saying, well, Kotaku said this, then you're just referencing Kotaku. That is your only point of source. If you are going by only Fox said this, then Fox is your only source, even if you have it from like 12 different things referencing the Fox report. You need multiple independent sources of the information. And generally, my criteria for looking stuff up, and let's go fight Duriel while I rant about stupid shit. Generally, my approach to getting multiple sources is not only will I be looking for multiple sources, I will be looking for... You drop anything good? I will be looking for multiple sources on different sides of... Ah, jeez, I just whacked my microphone. I'll be looking for multiple sources on different sides. So if I'm looking for information about a event of violence in the world, I will look for people that would... A source that would be from an alignment that would benefit from that event in some way or fashion, which is sometimes hard to do with some of those. There are people who would align with them. I look for a source from that. I look for a source that is vehemently opposed, and I look for an outside source. A source that has no skin in the game. That's one reason why you should not believe all reports from one country's reporting, especially whenever there are human rights violations going on in a country. So, as far as U.S. organizations, I think the only time that I will sometimes trust multiple sources from a single organization is if it's something like Associated Press, where you have... Yes, they are sort of under the same umbrella, and yes, that's how you can get like press credentials and stuff like that to get in places. But you will get... Basically, they can be in conflict with each other. Even though they're under that umbrella, they'll be pushing against each other, but they all kind of sit with the same requirements to keep their placement in Associated Press. If they start producing things that are not kind of objective, generally speaking, they'll lose their accreditation. If that makes sense. And if Associated Press stops holding their organizations that they issue these through accountable, then I would ignore that. And I'm going to stop that discussion now because I just realized that I'm dipping a little bit into something that I'd actually have to change the tags on my stream for. Because if I go too far in a direction, it's going to go from here's good advice to here's political discussion and discourse, which is an entirely different subcategory. Oh, we're going to go ahead and drop off these. We are at about 4 hours. Am I going to be a responsible adult? Go take care of what I need to do? Or am I going to keep streaming? Is the question. I think I'm going to go be a responsible adult after I sell some stuff. And I do actually want to go to Act 3 before we go responsible adulting. Hello, Jaren. Send me to the east. Always into the east. Yeah, if you don't get the reference whenever I start making that in other games, you have not been watching the channel very.
Greetings, Jaren. Good to see you.
I will always make the into the east joke. And let us see.
Hello.
And I will see you guys probably tomorrow around the same time, where we'll be kicking some Diablo ass for anyone who's curious. Because, yeah, we probably will make it to Diablo tomorrow, because it's just Act 3. It's a drag, but then Act 4 is easy. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!